Oh boy, I hope you all brought snacks today. This is gonna you're gonna need it. Snacks, drinks. I'm gonna set up the goal for spice because I think we're gonna need it. I also have another new goal set up for you guys because you deserve it. I'm gonna set the goal for 3 hours because I think I know what this day is gonna be. Spice. So, if we do make the goal earlier, I'll set it and we'll do more spice. If you notice it looks a little bit dark in here, it's because it is. It's super cloudy today and it kind of smells like snow the last couple of days, but it's just raining. So if it looks a little dark in here, it's because it is. Also, um, this is gonna be shit. I got my Tim Pool hat on because I figured it was appropriate for for what we're talking about today. I set up a donation a goal for you guys because you guys wanted bunny suit. So I did consider doing bunny suit today, and then I realized that these two chuckle fucks, one, don't deserve it, and two, I kind of forgot until like the last minute. I thought about it yesterday. Was like, yeah, we could do that tomorrow, and then it got to tomorrow, and it had left my brain. So hooray! If you guys, I'm gonna be adding the membership ticker at the bottom again. Next month. So that'll be back soon. But yeah, alt-right garbage, yeah. Prepare your dumpster fires in the chat, everybody. Everybody, dumpster fires in the chat, dumpster fires in the chat. We're gonna start on a 45-degree angle. That's how tilted we're gonna start this stream. Because, I mean, as soon as you see these two mugs I'm not gonna pretend that I'm not fucking biased, alright? Fuck these two. They suck. Historically. So I'm not gonna pretend that I'm like, oh, we're gonna be all fair and balanced. No, I'm not gonna be unfair. At least I'm not gonna try to be unfair. I'll try to be as fair as I can be, but be aware that I'm already of the opinion of fuck these two. Now, in my defense, they started it. Hey, I didn't tell you to start yet. Shut up. I gotta put my things on. Alright. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for going through this torture with me. I have brought snacks to eat in disrespect. Because that's what these people deserve. Okay. So nobody get it twisted. Nobody think that I'm like, oh, that's the wrong thing. Nobody think that I'm like trying to come in here like I don't know what these two are fucking about and what like their fucking problems are. So if you're a Chris Tucker fan or a Nick Fuentes fan, why? Please tell Elmo as to fucking why. All right, let's see if this audio works. Can you guys hear this? Okay, yeah, but it's quiet. All right, let's turn this up. Let's crank that shit. All right, shall we get started? Okay, first thing I should say is this video that we're gonna watch. So this is just Tucker Carlson interviews Nick Fuentes, and it's on Tucker Carlson's YouTube channel. Nick Fuentes, if I'm not mistaken, does not have a YouTube channel anymore. He got kicked off the platform. So I think technically this video that we're about to watch is against terms of service because I'm pretty sure YouTube, back when Fresh and Fit got yeeted off of the platform, they implemented a rule that said you can't host people or like bring people onto the platform that were kicked off the platform. It's just a terms of service thing, so I don't know how seriously they take it, but I think technically it's against terms of service, and I think maybe technically me also doing this might be against terms of service, but you know, it's YouTube, don't screw me. Thanks. Nick's political analysis is always spot on. Is it? Is it though? Sometimes his analysis is not wrong. I'll give you that. Sometimes he says shit that it's like, well, he's not wrong. I'm a Tucker Carlson fan depending on the context. On an unrelated note, what does a wood chipper cost? Oh man, we're starting off strong. Okay. Hey, listen, if you're a Nick Fuentes fan or you're a Tucker Carlson fan and you think you can convince me to like either of these two chuckle fucks, please, by all means, either leave a comment or feel free to participate in the chat as you see fit. However, if you do start being racist or you start being transphobic or bigoted or whatever, you will get a warning and then you will get fucking yeeted. So be aware. Congratulations. All right, let's get started. Goal is set. Thing is set. Bunny suit is set. All right. Oh, this is gonna be a lasting one, by the way. This is not gonna just be this stream, so don't stress about that. All right, let's go.
Nick Fuentes, thank you for doing this.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I wanted to meet you. I've heard about you.
I've heard about you.
So, well, thank you. I want to understand.
I like how they're so tentative at the beginning. It's adorable.
What you believe, and I want to give you a chance in a minute to just lay it out, not what you're pivoting against, which are a lot of the same thing. You know, I agree with you on some of the things you're pivoting against for sure, but what do you affirmatively believe? So I just want to stand back and let you explain it. But first, I want to understand how you got to where you are, how you became Nick Fuentes. So this is my understanding of your life arc, and tell me if I'm wrong. You show up.
Okay, that's actually not a bad start. Actually wanting to understand what Nick Fuentes actually believes as opposed to doing whatever, like talking about whatever he's against, I think is a lot more productive and like actually interesting and worthwhile. Because there are a lot of times when people do these kinds of interviews, there are a lot of times when people talk about Nick Fuentes, they don't actually talk about the things that he actually believes. And sometimes it's hard to discern what Nick Fuentes actually believes. Because he kind of, like, keeps it vague on purpose a little bit.
Up at Boston University. You grew up in a suburb of Chicago, kind of working class, western suburb, and you show up at Boston University in the fall of 2016 at the height of the battle between Trump and Hillary. It's like this kind of pivot point in history. And you show up with
Build a wall!
And you have a Trump hat, and you have like basically off-the-shelf Republican views?
Yes.
And so describe the views that you had then, and then describe what happened.
Oh my god, what is this fucking music? This is a fucking banjo twang? It's reminding me of the new norm fucking... Oh, boo. That's so fake.
Yeah, so when I was in high school, I was very political. I was reading a lot of the libertarian stuff, Austrian school, Chicago school, economic type literature, because that's what was popular at the time. If you went online in the early
Oh, poor Nick Fuentes was a sheeple?
2010s, that's all the conservative content there really was. That was the most extremely online type
Libertarian
stuff.
economics.
Well, yeah, basically kind of the remnant of the Ron Paul revolution.
Yes.
The Young Americans for Liberty, PragerU, which kind of skews a little more, I guess, conservative, but very basic.
PragerU kind of skews a little bit more, just a little bit? Just only a little bit?
Scared, Daddy?
Small government, individualism, libertarian type stuff.
So you watch PragerU videos?
Oh, yeah. I was in the Prager Force.
What's that?
It's a Facebook group for college kids, and they promote the PragerU videos.
Wow.
To the college students and high school students.
Oh, you mean they're extorting free labor from college students to push their political agenda over Facebook? I could never have imagined that PragerU, such an upstanding conglomerate, would do such a thing. I'm shocked. I do want to point out that, by the way, that is the same methodology or same practice or strategy that was used by Andrew Tate. That's how Andrew Tate... Is that a giant spider on my ceiling? George is back. He got bigger. Anyway.
Really were a product of the moment.
Absolutely.
And how'd you feel about Trump?
Mm-hmm.
Well, initially, I didn't like Trump. When the primary started in 2015, I considered him to be a statist.
Yeah.
Which sounds so ridiculous now.
No, a lot of people thought that.
Yeah. And I was a libertarian, so I saw him as a big government, 1990s liberal. When he was asked about healthcare, he said, well, we'll take care of everybody. And I said, I'm a Rand Paul guy, Ted Cruz guy. Those were kind of my people back in 2015.
You like Ted Cruz?
I was a cruise missile.
Oh, phrasing on that one. Oh boy. Hey, welcome. That smile on his face. I was in the Prager force. Yo, he's proud of it. Nick Fuentes is nothing if not proud of his work. All right, like we're not gonna split hairs on that one.
Does Cruz know that?
I don't think so. No, I was actually on his campaign.
You were on the Ted Cruz campaign?
I don't know if I was on the campaign, but I door knocked in a little village in Chicago, in McKinley Park, for Ted Cruz.
No way.
In the Illinois primary.
Did he write you a thank you note?
No, I didn't get a thank you. He lost, so I guess.
Yeah, he did in a very humiliating way.
That's
wow,
true. I agree with that.
So what happened?
So I, like everybody else in 2016, went through this ideological awakening. And first I shifted to Trump. And the first realization that I had.
An ideological awakening from what to what? There's something that I find. He's very proud. He's one proud boy, one might say. Yeah, yo, you're right. Very nice. I see what you did there. There's one thing that I do find a little bit amusing about this. People talk like these are the same people that complain about being woke, right? He's here saying he had an ideological awakening, but that doesn't count as woke. But then also these are the same people. I mean, I shouldn't say, like, it's not Nick Fuentes, I don't think, but I think the people that Nick Fuentes is talking to when he's talking to Tucker Carlson, like, that audience, are the people who are like, we believe Trump even though he says things that are completely opposite of what he just said 30 seconds ago. So, like, it's the most sheeple you've ever fucking met. They're more sheeple than, like, the church following Jesus that literally call themselves lambs. Good God. Ideological awakening feels like someone going to some kind of parade and suddenly feels all political. Yeah.
It started in 2016, actually, because the primaries, started in 15, around April or May, I think was the first announcements.
Yeah, Red Cedar, yeah.
And I had very negative feelings about Trump and, like I said, pro Rand Paul, pro Cruz. But when the actual Iowa caucus happened and the primaries began, I saw that Trump was dominating. And every night in the...
So you jumped ship because he was popular? The thing that Trump had going for him was that he had a cult. The MAGA cult was popular, so Nick Fuentes grifted? Is that the word we're looking for? Grifting here? I like how he doesn't bring up, like, oh, Trump had this policy that I liked, or Trump convinced me via this X, Y, or Z things, or I was looking at the plans that he had for the economy, because it's almost like he didn't have any of those things. But on the other hand, he was popular, guys. I'll give Nick Fuentes points for, grifting and being able to see the wave and be able to catch the wave, I guess.
For Tuesday, when they had all the big contests, one after the other, I remember the media was furious that he was winning one after the other. And I remember thinking to myself, like, structurally, if I'm a libertarian or a conservative and we want to change the country, we have to win elections. If you want to win elections, you have to bypass the media.
I like how the one Nick Fuentes fan got so scared that they came in for half a second and then ran away before we even started the video. Strunk.
I sort of had this realization that the media was really standing in the way.
Course.
They were the problem. And I had this realization that all the conservatives and
I agree that the media has been a problem. I don't think I agree for the same reasons that Nick Fuentes is saying, but I do agree that there's mainstream media is problematic in the United States. I don't think that applies necessarily everywhere, though, and that's a really big problem with the maga and like sort of American individualism, political ideologies that come along with that, and it's that there is only America and everywhere else, and nobody cares about everywhere else. We only care about the United States, and so because we only care about the United States, you can't take ideas or learn things from other places. So when somebody says, some fucking MAGA idiot comes out and says something along the lines of, oh, this is all an Obama conspiracy, or, oh, this is all of the mainstream media is just telling you this lie. And it's like, okay, yeah, but there are other countries and they are also analyzing this situation and they are not controlled by your government. So what are they saying? And maybe we can take that into consideration and not rely on only MSNBC or only Fox News or only American or United States media outlets that are, again, I agree, problematic for varying reasons that we could get into. We won't get into today, probably. But you can also look at, like, okay, well, what's the news saying in Japan? What's the news saying in England? What's the news saying in Canada? What's the news saying in Mexico? What's the news saying in China? And again, you don't blanketly trust any single one of them. It's the same problem with the flat earthers, right? The flat earthers are like, oh, it's a giant global conspiracy to hide that the earth is flat. And I'm like, why the fuck would China or Russia work with Nepal to ensure nobody found out that the earth was flat? Like, who fucking agreed to this? This doesn't make any fucking sense. Nonsense. Chess should be sponsored by Ground News. Nobody will ever sponsor me. Ever. That's never going to fucking happen. Look at me. Look at me. Never going to have it. Yeah, Germany. Yeah, Germany's another good example. Like France, the EU countries, the Netherlands. Like, go look anywhere else. You don't have to rely on the corrupted mainstream media in the United States. You can go and look at other places and to maybe get some of that information, right? Like, not even no BK in prison. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man.
Republicans up to that point were afraid to take on the media. They, like Mitt Romney, would cower before them and were so apologetic and so weak. And so initially I said, you know, I actually don't ideologically agree with Trump at all, but he will destroy the liberal media, or at least their monopoly on thought and opinion.
Yes.
And then a breakthrough can occur. So that was kind of...
Yeah, so I didn't like Trump or anything that he had to say, but he was popular. So I grifted.
The first hump. And I said, you know, I could get behind Trump because he's a winner. He'll win for our side. And that was kind of the first big thing. And then as I listened to him more and more, his speeches and his rhetoric, I started to think about immigration.
Which you hadn't really considered before?
Never. And the reason why is because I was from a 95% white suburb. So the diversity had not really reached my corner of Chicago yet. Me and my family, not so much my family, they grew up in the city, but growing up in the suburbs, I was insulated from that. So
I mean, I don't think a lot of people at that age, because how old was Nick Fuentes in 2016? Right? Like, yeah, I guess it makes sense that you're only really thinking about the things that are directly in front of you, but if you've engaged in politics, that is odd to have not maybe even come across it.
It was just not even, it's actually, you're going to love this. This is, I don't know if I've ever even said this on an interview before. I was listening to Mark Levin's show. This goes to show how normie I was.
Actually?
I listen to him every day.
You listen to Mark Levin every day?
In high school, yes.
Wow.
I was a fan. I loved it.
I don't know who Mark Levin is. Now I have to look that up. Mark Levin. This dude doesn't even look familiar. Here's the Wikipedia. Oh, that's bright. American broadcast news analyst, columnist, writer, political commentator, radio personality, and writer. He's the host of a syndicated radio show, The Mark Levin Show, as well as Life, Liberty, and Levin on Fox News. Worked in the administration of President Ronald Reagan and was a chief of staff for the Attorney General Edwin Messe, whatever. He is the former president of the Landmark Legal Foundation. What the fuck is that? Landmark Legal Foundation is an American 501c3 nonprofit conservative legal advocacy and education foundation. Yeah, okay, yeah, all right, yeah. That's what I kind of thought. Author of 7 books and contributor to media outlets such as National Review Online. Since 2015, Levin has been the editor-in-chief of Conservative Review. Really, that's interesting because I'm pretty sure I just heard Nick Fuentes say that the left had a monopoly on media. So it's kind of interesting that this guy had a radio show that he was listening to since he was in high school, and that he was part of something called the National Review Online and the Conservative Review. Huh. Go figure. Described as right-wing by the New York Times, CNN, NPR, and Politico. Republicans that he considers Republican in name only. Declared himself a never Trump, but reluctantly endorsed Donald Trump after he won the Republican nomination. Yeah, In April 2025, President Trump appointed Levin to become a member of the Homeland Security Advisory Council. That's funny. This seems appropriate. I can understand. I can understand. What kind of fucking loser do you have to be in high school to be spending all of your time listening to this kind of a podcast? No fucking wonder this dude's brainwashed. Jesus Christ. Nick Fuentes was born in 1998. Okay. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Show, and I actually liked how he was kind of obnoxious and mean to his callers.
Yeah.
Vicious. And I liked that. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me that you like stuff like that. It seems up your alley.
But I'll never forget one show. He goes live and he says, America's becoming a majority non-white country. Does anybody think that's a good idea? And I was thinking to myself, yeah, that actually doesn't sound so good. I didn't really.
Why? What does your skin tone have to do with fucking anything in relation to this? That's just being racist. That's just racism.
Even think that America's becoming majority minority like that.
Wait, so you were radicalized on race by Mark Levin?
Yes.
Are you making that up? Or that's
a real story.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm. He planted
Ted Cruz or whatever, fucking Tucker Carlson. Amazing. Yeah, that's baffling and kind of insane. Go figure.
the seed at least. And then I saw a graphic on 4chan or Twitter, and I'm sure you've seen something similar. It said, this is what the map looks like, the electoral map. If only men vote, if only women vote, if only whites vote, if only non-whites vote.
And surely you did some painstaking research and canvassing to find out if any of it was correct. You saw a fucking meme. Oh my God.
And it became very obvious what the electoral problem is. It's demographics. These immigrants are coming here. They're going to...
Motherfucker, the Electoral College is a thing. People in the United States do not vote for their president. That's not how it works. How did you fuck this up? How could you have possibly spent so much time in high school doing politics and then be like, the problem is these demographic voters? Completely neglecting the Electoral College process.
Turn Texas blue like they turned California blue.
Yeah, I saw it happen.
Yeah, and you know, you look at even the opinion polls. These people don't believe in free speech.
By the way, congratulations. I think this is a good time to bring up. Congratulations to York, Virginia, and New Jersey, all of which have flipped blue in this recent election day. Good job, everybody. Get fucked, Nick.
They don't believe in the Constitution, the Second Amendment. As a libertarian, the things that are, and as American, things that are important to you, they don't believe, they don't understand these things. And so
I'm just gonna go ahead and citation needed that. Just gonna go ahead and drop a big old fat citation. You know what? This isn't big enough. This isn't big enough. We need more. This needs more. Voters don't know and don't believe in the Constitution or aren't educated enough. Well, which is it? Are they not educated enough to make a decision of belief, or do they not believe it? Citation needed. Because particularly MAGA has, like, complete disrespect for the Constitution. There's an interview or like one of the press releases where somebody had asked Donald Trump if he thought he was responsible for protecting the Constitution, and he said, or upholding the Constitution, and he said, I don't know. And it's literally one of the things you swear an oath to when you take office. Fucking Christ.
So I said,
the problem with the system is that too many people disagree with me. Yeah.
That's another political obstacle. You've got the media, you've got immigration. So I'm thinking like, well, we're going to vote for Ted Cruz. He's going to be the constitutionalist. We'll vote for Rand Paul. He'll be the libertarian. But what's
Zell for 5 said, and Danny, woot. Yeah, congratulations. The racists are very, very angry, and that is very, very funny. And I am pro pissing off bigots.
stands in the way of political power for us? It's the media and it's immigration. So I said, well, we got to get Trump to beat the media, build the wall, deport the illegals. And once we set the country straight, then we can actually have our constitutional republic back. That was kind of...
So Nick Fuentes right now, I would like to point out, just said liberals or Democrats don't believe in the Constitution, and then immediately started describing how the Constitution needs to be put on hold and needs to be shoved into the corner while they set everything up the way they want it to, and then they can bring back the Constitution. So again, I will repeat, Nick Fuentes said this group of people doesn't believe in the Constitution, and then he willingly just threw the Constitution out himself to set things up the way he wants things to be, regardless of whatever the Constitution says. So superseding his belief system and what he wants supersedes the Constitution to then bring the Constitution back after the fact, once he's got everything the way he wants it to be. I don't mean to say that he's a fucking hypocrite or that he's lying, but maybe projection is at least a little bit, or like rhetorical bullshittery hand-waving going on here. Again, I don't know if you noticed that quick little bait and switch he just did, but you know. Athens has been a member for 54 months. Pissing racist off? Hashtag perfect fingernails. Let's go.
The idea. And that's the mindset that I had going into college.
Amazing. So then what happened?
Amazing.
So I go to college and I'm just,
useless.
At that point, a huge Trump supporter. And you got to understand, for me, for my generation, so I was 18. I turned 18 in August.
Okay, now we know how old he is. He turned 18 in August of 2016.
It's 2016. And to us,
That's
Trump...
amazing.
Yeah. Well, because we're like the first generation that was influenced by Trump coming of age in that moment.
No, I say it's amazing because when you're living in...
Sorry, I just had to vomit.
And something you don't appreciate its full significance, but to be 18 in August of 2016. So this really is, as you're forming your views and really yourself.
Yes.
In the middle of this. We'll admit that we are not the most disciplined snackers. When the pantry calls, we answer. It can be cruel, but what if there was a way to snack like you want to snack and not deal with the consequences? Heaviness, bloating.
Oh.
Well, there may actually be an answer to that. It's called Vandy Crisps. Brought to you by the same people who make the incredible Mossad chips. Vandy Crisps are made with only heirloom potatoes, sea salt, and grass-fed beef tallow. Let me repeat, 3 ingredients. Potatoes.
What a smash cut into an ad. The fucking music in the back. I'm fucking shills. Fucking sellouts. I would like to again remind everybody that Tucker Carlson got fired from Fox News. Oh my god. Holy Jesus Christ. I'm just gonna let that... Now you know what not to buy, I get. Wait. No. Hold on, go back. What was that? What was that trad ass looking fucking Look at Look at this fucking modern ass aesthetic. A fucking square ass marbly looking table. She's got a fucking basket of wild flowers with a bottle of wine, like shard, like the bottle is empty. She's on the screen for half of a second just to like tantalize your brain. Oh. Sorry. Yeah, no, listen, Nick Fuentes is a lot and Tucker Carlson is a bitch, so hey, listen, don't worry about it. It's okay. It's okay if this isn't a stream you can handle. I totally get it. This is the worst. To be fair, I did say in the title that this is gonna be pain. Are you done your ad yet? Oh my god, it's so long. Man, I should have bought alcohol. Then I could have waterfalled for the length of the ad. He's still going!
Transformative. And, so for us, he was like
Jesus.
the savior of Western civilization. We looked at him as like, and by we, I mean me and all the online kids, teenagers that supported him, we really believed the hype. Like Teflon Don, like he could go into any scenario and win.
Oh man, he scammed a bunch of teenagers. Like, that's so fucking hard to do.
Like he was unstoppable, unflappable. Nobody could score points on him. He just seemed like, they said you can't stump the Trump. Like he could not be stumped. And so he just had this aura of inevitability.
You guys remember in 2016 when he was like stalking Hillary Clinton around like a fucking weirdo during the debate? And then there was a time while he was president during 2016 that he literally ate a memo off of his desk. Like, he picked up a piece of paper and ate it. He shoved it in his mouth and consumed it. Then there was that whole insurrection thing. Oh, absolutely wonderful. Western civilization disagrees. Yeah, I think that there's, like, this issue that fans of Nick Fuentes and Tucker Carlson and Charlie Kirk, like that group, that even though this is like, Tucker Carlson is definitively a different faction of like the right-wing nationalist MAGA extremist side, right? Like these two are like a meeting of two factions, right? But the people that like kind of agree with this and kind of go along with this have like forgotten more about like Donald Trump's 2016 presidency than like fucking anybody else. And it's very, very, very funny to me. How many people died during Covfefe, by the way?
The invincibility, and I loved that. And so I went to Boston University. I got on campus in September, and I was wearing my MAGA hat everywhere, in the dining hall, walking
you're a loser. We get it.
Down the street. And it's a city campus. So you're walking down Commonwealth Avenue and, you're in the city of Boston, which is super liberal. And at that time, it's different than it was now. People were getting fired for wearing MAGA hats. People were getting punched in the face. It was like being a Trump supporter it was out there actually back then. It was controversial. It was controversial everywhere, not even, just in liberal Boston. But so I was wearing my hat everywhere, and I was just getting accosted constantly. In the dining hall, people would come up and yell in my face. Some black girl in a hijab ran up to me and said, "You know what you're supporting? You're racist." And I'm trying to get my pizza.
You're literally making a statement out loud with your hat, and you're mad that people came to confront you about the statement you were making, the very political statement that you were making everywhere, and you're calling that being accosted. What a baby.
Trying to get my oatmeal.
This is reminding me, this is like fucking Steven Crowder fucking putting up his sign being like, change my mind, and then getting mad that he fucking, that people came up to talk to him.
Meal or whatever at the dining hall. This was happening constantly. And so I was going then on Twitter, and I had a small Twitter account with my real name and face, and I had, maybe 200 followers, and I'm posting about my experiences. And I caught the attention of a lot of people on campus for wearing the hat, for posting on Twitter, and they found my Twitter.
You've only been there like a month?
Less weeks, maybe 3 weeks.
Guys, I deliberately went to a place to go make myself a problem, and people thought I was a problem. I can't understand how this could have happened to me. But what were you wearing, Nick? You were wearing your MAGA hat. Of course people confronted you.
This is starting to kick up. And I catch the attention of my peers, and they start going at me on Twitter and giving me death threats. We're going to kill you. How dare you? If I see you, I'm going to
citation needed this. Just real quick. I don't believe him at face value. I just want to... So I've never watched this guy before. His voice is annoying. One thing that we noticed on Dumbfuck Friday, because we talked about parts of a little bit of this on Friday, is that he looks and sounds like Vic Mignogna. He's got the same kind of nasally voice. He's got the same kind of hair. He's got the same squarey fucking loser face. He's got the same fucking bitchy ass complaints about everything. He's got a Vic Mignogna vibe.
Beat your ass, that kind of thing. And this is my first experience with this. Now we're all kind of desensitized to it, but that was my first run-in with this intensity from the left. So I file a police report. I get real nervous. And, when you're a student, you can't really avoid other people. You're in a dorm room. Exactly. You're in the, so you're vulnerable.
You can not wear your MAGA hat and incite people, you fuck nugget. This dude is literally like, hey, I ran down the street naked, and I'm surprised that people were shocked and tried to stop me.
And anyway, long story short, so one of these guys from the campus libertarian group, Young Americans for Liberty, he reaches out to me and says, hey, I'm not going to say his name, but he goes, I go to a school in Boston. I'm from YAL. He said, and I'd like to set up a debate with you and one of these people that's been giving you a hard time on campus because they were doing a lot of events. He said, is that something you're interested in? I said, absolutely. And so he goes around and he asks some of the bigger people that are antagonizing me on Twitter, and everybody says no. And he goes, yeah, no one's going for it. I said, well, can you try again? Can you? And so he finds one.
And then, damn it, there was one time where we had the chance to change the course in history by fucking ignoring this twat. The only based thing that I think Nick Fuentes has ever said is that he likes fucking femboys. It's affinity for femboys.
One guy, and it turns out to be the student body president of the whole university.
It'll be you.
Yeah, the senior, this liberal douchebag progressive. And he's the student body president of the student government there. And so we set up the debate. It was about a week before the actual election. So I think it was end of October, beginning of November. And they hold it in this auditorium in the center of the campus, and like 300 people show up. So it turns into like this huge, and they're all liberal. They all hate my guts. They're heckling me the whole time. They're yelling at me.
They invited Nick Fuentes versus 300 liberal college students.
This debate about Trump versus Hillary. And so I'm there and I'm pro-Trump, and I say, I think Trump's going to win. And I'm straight up like ripping the Ben Shapiro talking points. I'm saying, it's got everything to do with culture and nothing to do with race, and diversity's a problem and all this.
So you went into a debate, and your main debate strategy was to copy Ben Shapiro? So not only are you a grifter, but you're a plagiarist. Okay. I'm never gonna get over Ben Shapiro telling people who live on the coast not to worry about climate change because they can just sell their property when they go underwater. And the answer was to who, Ben? Aquaman? What the fuck are you talking about?
And I decisively win the debate. It's like not even close.
I don't believe you. I'm gonna go citation needed on that one too. I don't believe you at all. Was this debate videotaped somewhere? Don't send me that. I don't want to watch it. 2, second off, you can't make me. And 3, I don't care that much.
The debate wraps up, and this girl who I think I had talked to her on Twitter once or twice comes running up to the stage after the debate, and it's Cassie Dillon. And at this time, she's a fellow at Daily Wire.
And then she tripped and fell on my dick. That's what this sounds like to me.
In Shapiro's company. And like I said, I barely knew her. And she comes running up and she says, oh my gosh, I live streamed this debate on...
Fuck! It does exist. It was recorded. Oh, man. Don't send it to me. I don't want it. I don't want to watch a fucking shitty Hillary Trump debate from fucking 18-year-old fucking Nick Fuentes being a discount fucking Ben Shapiro. LARPing. God.
On
Pain.
Periscope on Twitter. She said, and 30,000 people watched it, and you have like 5 job offers. You did incredible.
I forgot about fucking Periscope. Oh, that's why he thinks he won. A girl told him he did good.
I said, wow, I don't know what to say. That's great. She goes,
You're 18 years old.
Yes. So it's like happening very quickly for me, you know? And she goes, do you want to do a post-game interview after the debate? I said, sure.
You bitch. Oh my god, it's filmed in sideways vertical. That guy's got the same hat as me. No, why? IRL blood sports, Nick Fuentes versus low IQ Marxist weirdo at BU Trump debate. The title 7 years ago, the birth of Nicholas J. Fuentes. Oh my god. The day the knife was unsheathed. Hear from the Tucker interview. Oh, son of a bitch. YouTube pretty base for randomly sticking this in my algorithm. Wait, what did that say? Newborn versus hydrogen bomb. Oh. How long is this? An hour?
Sure. And so she asked me about how I thought the debate went and what my views are and things like that. And, you know, very normal stuff. And then at the end, she says, I just got back from doing study abroad in Israel. She goes, and it was amazing. Would you ever take a trip to Israel? And I said,
they tried to send him to Israel?
No, I think I got everything I need right here in America.
No, thanks.
She goes, oh, okay. And she wraps up the interview. And that was a little bit of foreshadowing. And this begins a relationship, not a romantic relationship, but we become friends and we start talking.
He's got to specify that. He's not gay, guys.
And she's plugged in, like I said, a Daily Wire. She's talking to people at Right Side Broadcasting Network, the college Republicans. I start to develop this friendship with her. And over time, she lands me this show on Right Side Broadcasting Network. And in this time, I'm really starting to lean into America first. I'm becoming more pro-Trump as time goes on. And what really stood out to me was Trump's inaugural.
You know, you could be like America first and not support Donald Trump. Like, you those things don't have to mean the same. They don't have to be synonymous.
Address in January 17th. So this was just a couple months later. And in Trump's inaugural, he says famously A new vision will govern our land. It's going to be only America first, America first. And I said, that's me. Like, that's what I believe.
Yeah.
I'm an American nationalist.
Me too.
Fully at this point. Not even a conservative.
Me too.
And there was one thing that happened just before that that really struck me as strange. And I've told this story before. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but suffice to say, Barack Obama in the lame duck period, so the Democrats lost the election. He's on his way out. There's a resolution in the Security Council condemning the settlements in the West Bank in Israel. And typically, the U.S. delegation will veto those resolutions condemning Israel. Well, Obama's on his way out. He's got nothing to lose. So the U.S. delegation abstains from the resolution, and it passes. And Fox News and all the pro-Israel conservatives are calling him an anti-Semite. They're saying he hates Jews. He's an anti-Semite. He hates Israel. And I saw that, and it struck me as strange because it seemed hypocritical. It seemed like how when conservatives would critique anything about race, we got called racist, or anything about feminism, we got called sexist. All Obama did was uphold U.S. policy on the West Bank that we've had since '67, which is we don't support the settlements. I said, how is it anti-Semitic to just be consistent on our U.S. foreign policy? Like I said,
If the policy, the short answer of that question is if the policy was anti-Semitic to begin with, then continuing to do the anti-Semitic thing is still anti-Semitic. It was anti-Semitic the whole time, or it was racist the whole time, or it was sexist the whole time. It's not sexist or bigoted to talk about race. It's what you say. It's the context of what you're saying and what you're advocating for and how you approach those conversations, that your behavior that determines whether or not you are sexist or bigoted, because you being called that is a personal assessment, not a general one, right? It's an assessment of you as a person, not an assessment as like the group as a whole. The group as a whole would be about the policy, right? So if the conservatives or the Democrats, it doesn't matter who, whatever political group, the Quebecois, it doesn't matter. If the political group has and is pushing policy that is harmful to trans people, for example, by preventing them from, getting health care or being acknowledged as people, or labeling them all as sex fiends or whatever the fuck, that is a transphobic policy. And if the broader group agrees with the policy that they're pushing, then that group is transphobic, because now it is a policy issue, not a personal identifier. But if you then identify as a conservative and agree with this policy, now we can talk about that and be like, okay, hey, why do you agree with this policy? And you start with fucking the talking points about that policy. Now it's an individual thing. You've made a definitive personal choice. And so your behavior is informing what policy you're putting forward or what policies you're agreeing with, right? So you see what I mean? Where it's like, it's interconnected, but not necessarily the same thing. So at this point, as of right now, it is nigh impossible to support Donald Trump and not be a bigot of some variety. Because if you're not a bigot of some variety, why the fuck are you supporting this guy and all of his bigoted policies? Because there's too many policies at this point. It's not like, oh, well, I don't like them because of this. I like them, but there's this one policy that I think is problematic, which you could do, right? If you're like, hey, listen, forget it. I like, I don't know, pick somebody. I like DeSantis because of these policies about energy and him going to legal war with Disney, but I don't agree with this policy that is going to harm SNAP benefits, or that's going to harm this particular group. So I don't agree with this, but because of these other things, it's outweighing my give a shit, or I don't think this is going to be a problem if I vote for him in office because of X, Y, and Z. So like, I don't agree with this, but I don't think it's going to be problematic necessarily. You can adjust that. You cannot do this with this current administration, and you can't do that with this administration because it is too pervasive. It is too big of it is the platform. The entire Trump platform is Trump first, fuck everybody else, and bigotry. And we're going to use bigotry to bolster me first. Because we are going to make an other, we're going to make a them, and we're going to play an us versus them rhetorical game. As if you're not fucking over everybody. Which is actually what's happening. So if you want to say, like, listen, it's not about class, it's about race, or about race, it's about culture, fine. Okay, great. Then stop using minorities and your bigotry as an excuse. Because that's what you're using to push forward your shitty ideas that are harming everybody. If you don't want to make it about race, stop talking about race. If you don't want to make it about fucking immigrants, you don't want to make, it's not racist, it has nothing to do with their race, then why the fuck are you talking about deporting illegals? The fact that Nick Fuentes looks back on 2016 and is like, oh yeah, immigration, and then you turn around and look at what currently is going on with ICE? Like, my guy, a little bit of self-awareness at all, any of it. Just a little bit? No? What the fuck? Because fucking ICE is harming American citizens. Duh. This whole SNAP thing is a logistical nightmare. Hold on, let me double check. Let me double check to see how many fucking people are dead from USDA. Da 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 da. This one's from July. USAID cuts have caused more than 330,000 deaths worldwide, is the estimate. Here's the tracker. And guess where this tracker's from? Boston University. The place that fucking Nick Fuentes went to. Tracking anticipated deaths from USAID funding cuts. Adult deaths, 124,377. Child deaths, 258,673 deaths. 88 deaths per hour. For a total of... Let's grab the calculator real quick. 124,377 plus 258,673, 383,050, roughly. This was updated. When was this updated last? Actually, this looks like March 2025. So. Right on track. So, what? Who's responsible? The pro-life group? Yeah, okay, yeah, sure, yeah.
Which is a Republican-Democrat consensus. And I got attacked for this. I wrote a big article about this. I tweeted about it. I tweeted to Ben Shapiro. I said, I've never seen anything on the Daily Wire that's actually critical of Israel. And he quote tweets me. And at this time, I have 1,000 followers on Twitter.
How old are you?
I'm 18. I'm a freshman.
Still a freshman in college, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And this is even before I started my show. And I don't know, I probably got 100 likes on this tweet. It wasn't a viral tweet. He quote tweets me and says, to accuse a Jew of dual loyalty is the surest sign of anti-Semitism.
Well, pretty sure if you're accusing them of that because they're like that, I wouldn't, I think that's contextual. So I would agree that that would not be enough. Being critical of Israel's governmental policy is not, I wouldn't call that anti-Semitic. That's a government issue. But whatever.
And like, this is how it sort of begins. And I see this tweet. And by the way, that was on Christmas Eve in 2016.
He immediately called you an anti-Semite.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if the clown shoe fits, though, does the clown shoe fit? Does the clown shoe fit, Nick?
Driving to Christmas Eve Mass with my family. And I see.
Oh, poor boy. He got a tweet back at him on Christmas. Oh, fucking well. When did you tweet it out? Right before Christmas? Yeah, it's sequential, dude. You're literally bitching that shit was sequential. Why is the Jewish guy gonna give two shits that it's Christmas, you fucking anti-Semite? That's anti-Semitic! Expecting and assuming that everybody's gonna give two shits about your Christian holiday when they're Jewish. That's anti-Semitic. So, again, if the clown shoe fits, Nick... And he's immediately like, why would he call me an anti-Semite on Christmas? Immediately he's like, how could you call me that? Let me say something anti-Semitic. Unbelievable. By the way, it's very weird to be on the side of Ben Shapiro. Although I do admit, I do think Ben Shapiro is very funny. I don't know if he's funny on purpose, but I like his delivery.
On Twitter, the notification comes up. Ben Shapiro quote tweets me, calling me an anti-Semite. And I was like, what is this? Like, why is this guy attacking me?
Why is this guy attacking me after I attacked him? How could this be? How could this happen to me? I don't understand. This is the same thing that he did at the university. He's like, oh, I'm just showing up and making myself a problem. Why is everybody mad at me? I just yelled fire in a movie theater. Why are people mad?
You know, because I don't have a platform at this time. I'm not an influential guy or anything.
That doesn't mean you didn't say something shitty, dipshit. You don't have to be fucking important for you to say something that people are going to respond to. Good God.
And so then I put out another tweet similar. I said something like, if you're China first, you should live in China. If you're Mexico first, you should live in Mexico. If you're Israel first, maybe you should go live in Israel. And again, he quote tweets me and says, you're an anti-Semite.
That same night?
I'm gonna citation needed this. I want to see these tweets because I'm betting he said more than just that, or he said that in not those words. Context. Tucker, you're the interviewer. Did you bring anything to the table here? Do you have anything to like, oh, I said it on Twitter.
This was, I think, a couple weeks later. Happened a little bit further down the line. And so,
I would like to remind you all that there was a Canadian version of Nick Fuentes. He got arrested. And his group got deemed terrorists. Because we don't put up with his shit. I covered it on another video a couple of years ago. Hold on, I'll get you guys the link. Whoa. Hold on. 1 second, let me find it. Let me get it for you. I covered it around the time that it was actually happening. Go to my channel. Thank you. Yes, please. And go to... yeah, here we go. Nick Fuentes Canadian edition. This was 4 years ago. 4 years ago. Here you go, if you want to take a look.
Oh,
were you surprised that he knew you were?
Yeah, I was. I was surprised at why he cared.
Yeah. Did he know
because
who
I'm
you
thinking,
were?
how does he even know who I am or what I'm about? And it turned out that Cassie
How did he know I was an anti-Semite?
And she had texted him earlier, and she wanted him to take me under his wing. She texted him after that debate and said, you really like this guy. He's amazing. He did this great debate. She goes, but he's a little too pro-Trump. He's a little too Trumpy. And he goes, I'll take a look. And so I guess the two of them were kind of like grooming me in a sense.
If you're an asshole, you should live in the toilet.
They wanted me to go maybe and be a Daily Wire, or maybe looking me as a potential conservative activist or influencer. And so they started paying attention to me, and the more critical of Israel I was, I started to get this really intense pushback from the both of them. And from a lot.
Oh, really? Like what? Such as? This is a deep state job interview. Twitter is the This is so absurd. It's so bizarre. Like, what? Fucking huh?
A lot of the people at Daily Wire.
Why do you think, so you're an 18-year-old college freshman, you're clearly talented and you're engaged, you're really interested, and you ask not crazy questions, like, what is this?
Mm-hmm.
And
rather than explain it, they just call you a racist, call you an anti-Semite.
Ah, yes, we've got an interviewer who is not going to question or give pushback for any singular thing that Nick Fuentes is going to say. That's
the first response.
Sign of a good interview.
That seems like the least effective. Well, it turned out to be not very effective in your case, but that seems like the least effective thing you could do. Why do you think they did that?
Well,
you mean like the Nick Fuentes fan that came in here at the beginning, and I said, hey, if you've got things to convince me, or you wanna talk about why you like Nick Fuentes, go right ahead, and like we can talk about that. And they called me a retard and left. Isn't that the least effective thing you could do? Learn from your heroes, guys.
Oh, I think that you have to look at it not in retrospect, because hindsight is 20/20. And so looking back, you could say they made a terrible mistake because look at sort of what they provoked or what they catalyzed. But at that time, you got to consider I'm 18 with no following, with no network.
And maybe you're a racist and you were already radicalized when you went into college, like you literally just said that you were. So why are you surprised that based on your behavior and the things that you're saying that people recognize that you're radicalized and point it out? He literally said at the beginning that he was listening to this right-wing podcast all of the time throughout high school, and then he went into college, started causing problems for people. Like, well, I don't understand. This seems like it makes complete sense to me. And he's like, I don't fucking get it. Why are they so mean to me?
Work. I'm coming from the suburbs of Chicago. My parents didn't go to college. I have no connections. And so for them, it was very easy that if they detected that a promising young guy was going to become anti-Israel in the conservative movement, they could crush that person easily and grind them under the heel. So they sort of were alerted, oh, there's a precocious young guy.
April says, pretty sure Ben Shapiro is enough of a narcissist that he liked the version of Fuentes that was pretending to be Ben Shapiro. Yeah, remember that according to Nick Fuentes, he was ripping off and copying Ben Shapiro in that debate. So is it really that surprising that Ben Shapiro, when he was handed this debate to look at, was like, hey, this Nick Fuentes guy is pretty decent? Because he's saying and doing the things that I say and do, and he agrees with me, so maybe he's cool. Checks into him, finds out he's a fuck nugget, and is like, oh, wow, you're a fuck nugget, and now here we are, fucking 8 years later, and we're listening to fucking Tucker Carlson jerk off footsies Nick Fuentes under the table while he knows nothing about him and gives him zero pushback. Like I said, factions amongst the MAGA. Fascinating to look at from the outside.
Isn't on board with Israel, we'll keep an eye on him. And if he gets too vocal or popular, we'll cut him down, we'll crush him. Because at this time, as you know, in 2017, it's a very different time.
Do you have a citation for that? Like, you're making these pretty bold accusations. Like, what you just said you were small, why would they care about you? And now you're saying that they had like, the Daily Wire and Ben Shapiro had a conspiracy to take you down if you got too popular. Like, how fucking... the ego on this child.
2016, 17, any criticism or dissent on the subject was a death sentence. You became
PSYOP versus BIOP. I like that. That's good.
Radioactive, unhireable, blacklisted. And that's exactly what happened. And basically from then on, it was just this escalating series of blacklisting, censorship, hit pieces, rumors to try to ostracize me from the movement. And
while you're a college student?
Yes. As a freshman, yeah.
Most coffee companies sell weakness, watered-down drinks from faceless corporations that don't care about you or your family. Black Rifle...
I like how he tried to do this with Black Rifle. Black Rifle... God, you're so gay. He tried to, like, emote this like it was hard, but his face didn't change at all. Hold on. Black Rifle Coffee Company. I have to look this up. Hold on. I have to. Black Rifle Coffee. Hold on. Alright. I got their Wikipedia. Start with that. Coffee company based in Salt Lake City, Utah, United States. Founded in 2014. A former U.S. Green Beret, Evan Haffer, gained national attention in 2017 after pledging to hire 10,000 veterans in response to Starbucks' pledge to hire 10,000 refugees. Oh, yeah. Began selling a small volume of Freedom Roast. Oh, I've heard of this. Direct-to-customer subscription service, blah, 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 blah. Coffee shops, blah, 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 blah. Well, distributed at some firing ranges, tactical stores, and Bass Pro Shops. 2016, they expanded to Canada and a division based in Alberta. Of course, Alberta. You couldn't write this shit, man. What if it's such a meme, dude? 2018, Tennessee. Blah, 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 blah. Company's gross, 30 million. Employed more than 200 people, and 40% of them were veterans of the United States military. Okay, but how are you going to hire veterans in the United States in Canada? Also, can I point out... You wanted to do 10,000 veterans, pledging to hire 10,000 veterans, and in 2019 you only employ more than 200 people. My guy, what's your time frame on this? I mean, cool that 40%, like not even over 50% are veterans, which is low-key kind of fucking hilarious. But again, I want to point out, if you're America first, why are you expanding into Canada to hire all of the 10,000 veterans you're pledging to hire, which is meaningless? Starbucks is big enough that they could probably hire 10,000 refugees. Like, that's a believable number. This is just nonsense. They pledged that in 2017, and in 2019 they employ more than 200 people. Ooh! That's less than one person for every shop. Because it says their products are available at 1,700 retail locations. So they've hired less people than they have locations. Guys, maybe... Uh-oh. In March of 2020, coffee donation campaign to support medical and emergency workers, quarantined military personnel and their families, and others working to mitigate the national global impact of covfefe. In May, a Canadian gun ban enacted following the 2020 Nova Scotia attacks was mistakenly thought to include a ban on the coffee company. It should have. Yeah, no shit. In 2021, an article in the New York Times described his vision for growth of the physical franchise stores using retired military non-commissioned officers. He sees Navy petty officers and Army staff sergeants joining the company and running a franchise of their own. I'm okay. In November of 2021, Black Rifle Coffee merged with Silver Box Engaged Merger Corporation via special purpose acquisition in an effort to raise funds for expansion to go public. The company has a valuation of approximately $1.7 billion. The merger was completed in February of 2022. Okay, well, hold on. What the fuck is this? Silver Box Engaged Merger Corporation? What are you? What are you? What is that? Silverbox Engage is a newly incorporated blank check company formed for the purposes of effecting a merger, capital stock exchange, asset acquisition, stock purchases, reorganization, or similar business combination with one or more businesses. Oh. Special purpose acquisition company. Well, who did they merge with then? Politics. Oh, here we go. Corporate image is built on conservative politics. It's built on a LARP. Yeah, and support for veterans, which it doesn't actually do. In 2018, over half of its staff were former military. And then by 2019, only 40% of their staff was military. Former military. Wonder how that happened. Like, actually, up here, it says they wanted to hire 10,000 fucking veterans. Then they only had 200 people in 2019 and only 40%. So in 2018, over 50% were veterans, but by 2019, less than half were. Okay. The company maintains a pro-military, pro-gun, pro-police image and has publicly supported the politics of U.S. President Donald Trump through actions such as publishing a since-deleted blog post that supported Trump's then-current proposal of an immigration ban from Muslim-majority countries. Oh, God, I forgot about that. Its political stance has attracted attention from Fox News. Hey, isn't this the party that, like, gets super-duper mad about, like, corporations going into politics and, like, talking about politics? And putting politics into everything. Why is there politics in my coffee? And the company has been endorsed by conservative broadcast personalities Sean Hannity and Donald Trump Jr. Oh, yeah. A 2021 Salon article reported that BRCC is trying to draw a line and distance itself from the far right after BRCC logos and gear appeared on Kyle Rittenhouse. Black Rifle's coffee symbols were also present on people who attended the U.S. Capitol on January's. Who attended? You mean accosted? You mean attempted to usurp the U.S. state's Capitol on January 6, 2021? You can't write this. Oh. In 2000, launched its advertising campaign based on their plan to hire 10,000 veterans, which is just ridiculous. That's just an absurd number. In July of 2021, the Dallas Cowboys were criticized for announcing a new partnership with BRCC a day after the Highland Park parade shooting on Independence Day. Oh my God! Black Rifle subsequently released a statement explaining that the news was timed to coincide with the Independence Day holiday. No! Oh my God. Oh, he was on Joe Rogan podcast in November of 2024. Oh, this is so funny. Oh my god. I need... You can't be serious. Good God, man. Get your shit together. Why? So not only is there now politics in my coffee, but there's also politics in my Dallas Cowboys. Oh my God. All right, I'm gonna get tea. Keep talking, Tucker.
Which, not to brag, is in this.
Never mind,
here
this is an
is very
ad.
different.
Shut up, Tucker. Nobody cares. Shut up. It's nice of them to put a little bar at the bottom, actually. I appreciate that. That's pretty cool.
With that 2020 hindsight, I mean, Ben Shapiro seems like a big part of your political evolution.
Yes.
You went from a fan / acolyte to an opponent and then just pivoted against everything
Yeah.
that he believes.
Yeah. It was because it was this new dialectic that Trump forced.
Yeah.
Trump planted the seed.
And the seed was America first.
Yes.
So once you accept that, a lot of the way we're doing things becomes impossible to support or justify.
Right. The contradiction becomes apparent. It gets moved to the center and it becomes unignorable if you're consistent.
So what kind of efforts did they make to make you go away?
So this is a couple of months down the line. You know, first they would try to dissuade me from asking questions because I was friends with a lot of the Daily Wire writers, not just Cassie Dillon, but many of them were Jewish. And I would ask them point blank. I would say, so why do we give Israel all this money? $3.8 billion per year? What is that?
So here's the thing. There's this really ridiculous idea that MAGA has, that it thinks that all, like, foreign policy is just bad. Foreign aid of any kind is just bad. Foreign policy should be about other countries giving us money and that's it. That's all we want from it. Which is absurd because it's not only selfish, but it's incredibly short-sighted at best. At best, incredibly short-sighted. And very not pragmatic at all. Think about it this way. If you're I'm gonna use school lunches as an analogous here. If you're a kid and you're starving, you're not gonna do very well in school. If you're a country and you're starving, you're not going to be able to do a whole lot when it comes to working your land and its resources and your people into things that help the global machine, let's call it. So what do? Oh, well, maybe we make it so that country isn't starving anymore. And now suddenly they're self-sufficient in a way that they can fucking grow up and become self-sufficient and then participate as a functional member of the global machine. So the same way you were like, hey, if we give this kid lunch, it pays us back in dividends because helping them out means that they're going to be able to participate in the future when they otherwise could not participate. And it pays back in dividends. And this is completely disregarding that an opposing country, that like a country that opposes you, could do that instead and thus get that group's help instead, or get that group's resources once they come to fruition rather than you getting it. Right? Which adds another level of complexity to the problem. It's also just, not being a dick and letting people starve for no fucking reason. But then again, the United States seemed to be fine with doing that to its own people. And I would, again, like to point out what we've learned before on this channel, which is that Canada treats its pets better than the United States government treats its people. And here we are with the SNAP benefits. Womp fucking womp, my guy. Jesus Christ. Hey, Generic, good to see you. I love that Nick Fuentes' head looks like it's photoshopped onto his real life body. Oh god, you're right. It does. Now I can't unsee that now. Son of a bitch.
That for. And they would say, well, you know, there's a really good answer for that, but you're asking it in the wrong way. You're asking it in an anti-Semitic way.
All right. So then adjust the way you ask the question. If you don't want to be anti-Semitic, word your question better, dipshit. It's not that hard to be considerate. It costs you nothing to not be a dick to the people who you claim are your friends.
I'd say I'm asking for the proof. You know, what's the argument there? And so first it was the sort of, hey man, could you kind of tone it down? Maybe just don't bring that up so much.
Hey, why are all black people thieves? I don't mean to be racist, I just want to know the answer. I'm just asking questions. Hey, if you're such a tough guy and you're such a badass and you're so fucking smart, how come you can't handle this? How come you can't handle just adjusting your wording or even just not being a dick?
But I was persistent because at this time I was genuinely inquisitive. I wanted to know, is there an actual reason? And I was actually expecting that there was a really good reason for all of it. And the more that I read, the more that I dug into the subject, the more I found out there's a lot of these neocon Jewish types behind the Iraq war. There's the foreign aid complex, which is...
Oh, wow. It's almost like he was anti-Semitic. By the way, I don't know if you caught that, but that was a tacit admission that he is no longer honestly asking any of these questions. And did you catch that? Hold on, I'll play it again.
It's persistent because at this time I was genuinely inquisitive. I wanted to...
At this time, I was genuinely inquisitive. Implies that you are no longer and have not been genuinely inquisitive about this since you were 18. Because we all know that things that we know and believe and learn when we're 18 are the things that are always true forever and are definitely our best ideas. You know who else says that? The conservative leader in Canada, Pierre Poilievre. Because, you know, you want to take your political opinions from 18-year-olds, right? First-year college students. Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay. Can you imagine learning something or thinking something you were 18 and then literally never changing your mind about it, particularly when it's something that you talk about and study all of the time and make your whole life about it? You, like, never fucking change your mind ever? Dude, guys, that's not normal.
To know, is there an actual reason? And I was actually expecting that there was a really good reason for all of it. And the more that I read, the more that I dug into the subject, the more I found out there's a lot of these neocon Jewish types behind the Iraq war. There's the foreign aid complex, which is really unique. There's AIPAC, which is this intense foreign lobby where it's bipartisan. It seems to be the only thing that the parties can agree on. And so it just made me burn more with curiosity. So I just kept...
So maybe don't blame the Jewish people. It's not the Jews' fault that there's money corruption in the system. You can deal with the money corruption in the system and like lobbying without blaming the Jews. You fucking freak.
Kept asking them, and eventually they said, you know what? We're not going to talk to you anymore. And these are my friends. I met them, went to Christmas parties with them, and all of them one day.
You weren't their friend. Friends don't treat friends like that. Friends don't just be dick racists to their fucking friends. That's not... And then use that experience to promote your racism to the internet, you fucking asshole. Yeah, this is from 8 days ago. This is from last week. But this is about to get really funny. Are you ready? I feel like I'm listening to him describe an "Am I the asshole?" And the answer is yes, you're the asshole.
And these are my friends. I met them, went to Christmas parties with them, and all of them one day said, you're done. We're blocking you. We're never going to speak to you again. We're never going to have you on our show. And I said, wow, like this seems like inhuman. I'm struck by how impersonal this is. Like here I...
It seems inhuman that you decided not to be my friend anymore after I was a dick to you over and over and over again. I like that they collectively put up with you for an amount of time and then they collectively decided that they didn't want to put up with your ass anymore and you're crying about, I miss my friends. It's because you're a loser, Nick. Jesus Christ. It's not that complicated. It ain't that deep. It's so impersonal. Why were they so mean to me by not wanting to talk to me anymore after I was racist and anti-Semitic at them? Shocking, truly. What are my views on the electoral college system in the United States to elect their presidents? It should be replaced by a direct vote. The electoral college is an archaic piece of, it's archaic and it needs to, we've gotten past it. Actually, there's some Canadian electoral reform that needs to happen as well. It's been talked about a good couple of times, but it hasn't gone through yet, so hopefully we'll see that soon. But yeah. Imagine just trying to have a game night with some pals and this dude shows up and won't stop saying crazy shit. Yeah, he sounds like he's talking about getting kicked out of a D&D campaign after he was like weirdly rapey and problematic to all the other female players at the game. Is this like if you meet an asshole in the morning, you meet an asshole. If you keep meeting assholes, you are the asshole. The problem is you. Oh my god. And then all this did was make Nick Fuentes, like, justify his already fucking existing anti-Semitism. Like, what a fucking freak. This is not normal. I'm also gonna link, by the way. I'm gonna drop a link in here for you guys if you guys want to play bingo. Here's the bingo link. Bingo! Here you go.
I thought we're friends, we're all conservatives, maybe we disagree on one issue. Now I'm being canceled by the right.
Them not wanting to talk to you anymore isn't canceling you. I like that you put canceled in quotes because you know you weren't actually canceled. People you aren't obligated to be your friend, you freaking idiot. Dumbass.
So I was shocked by this.
When was this?
This was February or March 2017.
So you're still a freshman in college?
Yes.
This all happened while he was a freshman in college. This is while he was 18 years old. It is now 2025. Good God, he's just sitting here bitching and moaning.
Are you even paying attention to college at this point?
No, not at all. And
yeah, we can tell. That's why none of your fucking opinions changed at all.
My grades started to suffer because I was just really focused on this.
So that's pretty young to get canceled and pretty young to have friendships destroyed over politics. Like that's usually, like decades down the line.
It's not the politics, Tucker. Did you not listen to a single thing he said? It was the anti-Semitism. Oh my God. Oh my God. Tucker!
Line.
Right.
What did you do?
Well, I just became more emboldened. And so I took this story on my show. At this time, I was on our...
I was racist towards I was anti-Semitic towards my Jewish friends, and they stopped being friends with me. Therefore, I'm going to use that to platform onto the internet to justify my anti-Semitism. Isn't that what I literally just said he was doing? Yeah, no fucking wonder they didn't want to hang out with you.
RSBN, and I had this show, which I named after the inaugural. It's called America First. And I would kind of subtly bring up the Israel topic and say, this is something you're not allowed to talk about. This seems like an apparent contradiction.
You fucking just dropped it on people out of left field? So people are having a normal fucking conversation and you're just suddenly being anti-Semitic at them about fucking Israel's governmental policy? You doubled down because of course he did, yeah.
Contradiction. It's a big problem. And they escalated their attacks. Cassie Dillon would call my boss, who she was friends with, at RSBN every day for weeks, saying, "You'll never believe what Nick said on his show tonight. It's so racist. It's so bad. You got to take him off the air. It's going to make you look bad." And I would then get word from my boss, Joe Seals. He was the founder at Right Side. And he would call me up and say, "I don't know what has gotten into Cassie. I thought you guys were friends, but she is calling me every day hysterically, demanding that I fire you." And I was...
yes. The woman must be hysterical. about the anti-Semitism that he is doing, and he is admitting he's doing. It's okay, she's just hysterical. I've tried nothing and I'm all out of ideas. To be fair, he was accidentally right about Israel. I agree that America and the United States funding Israel and funding Israel's war machine is a problem and a bad thing. I think you would find most people on probably the left would agree with that. About how to deal with that and how to navigate it and how to change it around is a different story. But it has nothing to do with being Jewish.
It's like, wow, like, so it just keeps getting worse. It starts with this, like, they're very weird about the subject. Then they don't want to talk to me. Then they're trying to get me fired. And I'm thinking,
they're not the weirdo here, Nick.
Okay, so clearly what I'm asking about, there's some truth there that they don't
No!
want.
I should have asked you this earlier. Did anyone...
That's not what that means at all. It could simply mean that you're not fucking listening, and you're not being reasonable, and you're being a dick. It doesn't mean that there's some hidden conspiracy, you fucking tinfoil hat Goomba. Oh my god. Immediately jumping to the Jewish conspiracy theory. Yeah, okay. The Jews are hiding something. I honestly do not think he understands how bad that sounds to somebody who's not him. You know what I mean?
During the course of, pre-cancelization, say to you...
Pre-cancelization? I'm sorry. Pre-cancelization? That's a weird way to say birth control. It's a pre-abortion abortion. All right. Spermicide.
You're not asking the question correctly, but there are reasons that our foreign aid to Israel is so high. And here's what they are.
They did, but in a very general and...
So they answered my question, but they didn't give me the answer I want. Therefore, the Jews. God damn it.
Vague way. As you know, it's never specific. They would say things like, well, they're our partner in the Middle East. They're a democracy in the Middle East. Just as very vague. It's rhetorical.
What? How? How is that vague or rhetorical? I mean, it's not in depth or detailed, but that would take a greater conversation. That would take a longer period of time. And I'm not convinced you wouldn't eat the fucking crayons too fast. And you're 18. They're looking at you like these are people who have been in this job for a while, probably over a decade at this point for somebody like Ben Shapiro. And this fucking 18-year-old little shit starts coming up and being straight up anti-Semitic right to your face, and you answer his question. He's not satisfied with the answer, so he keeps bringing it up, keeps being a dick about it until finally everybody's like, we're done, we can't do this anymore. He fucking knows better. Yeah, oh, no shit, dude. The context just makes it so much... Can I also point out that Tucker Carlson's logo looks like the Black Diamond Cheese logo?
And I read The Israel Lobby by Mearsheimer and Stephen Walt, and they break it down very succinctly that there's no real strategic benefit. Actually, there's strategic liability. Eastern Mediterranean is not a strategically important region. The intelligence that Israel provides is not useful. Actually, it's detrimental because they frequently lie. The technology we give them, they pass along to the Chinese, which was a big scandal. So I would give them all this and say, yeah, that's not adding up. And they would say, yeah, well, you really just can't talk about that.
I don't believe you. I don't believe that that's what they said in response. Again, 18-year-old, first year college. Again, there's issues with the amount of money that goes to Israel to enable Israel's current genocide that it's trying to do to Palestine. That's fine. But you'll notice that Nick Fuentes is not talking about that or those statistics or those actual issues. He's not breaking those things down. He has never been breaking those things down. All of this is just talking rhetorical dog whistles because the Jews have a conspiracy theory. His whole point is that the Jews have a conspiracy theory in the United States. That's his point. That's all he's actually saying.
Your friend said that to you?
Yes.
Wow.
I just believe you without any pushback or any understanding because I'm not even fucking listening.
Okay, so what happened to your job? The Right Side Broadcasting gig?
Eventually, I got fired. I got kicked out.
Why?
Because one of these clips that Cassie Dillon had a problem with, she ran it up the flagpole. She took it to Media Matters, actually, which is a left-wing outfit. They're like a cancer.
I got fired for the things I said. But we're going to blame the hysterical woman.
Mill. And
wait, the Daily Wire person took it to Media Matters?
Yes.
Are you sure? I'm
99% sure.
Huh.
I.e., I made it up. I feel like that's the case. I'm pulling up the Black Diamond Cheese logo. Black Diamond. The Black Diamond Square. The Diamond. That's what it looks like. It's cheese. It's just a cheese brand. A brand of cheese. Anyway. It's the same because it's got that diamond shape. Tautology, yeah.
What was the clip?
It was a clip, ironically, where I was talking about the travel ban, the so-called Muslim ban, and I was defending it, and I said that...
You mean the ban that Donald Trump put in 2016, where he was like, we're going to ban travel for any country that is predominantly Muslim? And then you're sitting here saying, well, it's not actually a Muslim ban, even though it's specifically targeting Muslims? Okay.
The First Amendment does not protect foreign nationals. It doesn't protect Salafists, Wahhabis.
It protects people. The Constitution and the amendments thereafter doesn't specify you have to be a citizen to receive certain protections in the United States. So, you're wrong. Clearly you failed that class where you're supposed to study the Constitution because you were too busy in a piss fight with Ben Shapiro on Twitter.
He's like, I said, they're saying that there's a constitutional right for radical Muslims to come here. And I said, how are they protected by the First Amendment? They're foreign nationals. And the authorial intent of the First Amendment was actually not even to protect that to begin with. It's kind of anti-Christendom radical ideology.
Huh? My brother in Christ. The United States was a place that people were leaving and getting away from religious overreach in some circumstances. Like the fucking the founding fathers were like specifically like, we don't want the Pope to tell us what to do. I'm being like flippant about that, by the way, but wow.
So it's something, ironically, that probably Shapiro and Cassie would agree with, but they recognize the currency that a clip like that would have with the left. Because
these people that I'm accusing of doing this thing that I'm not even actually sure and have presented no evidence that they actually did do, and it was actually literally just the words I said being problematic. So people criticize me for the things I said. What a fucking baby. What an actual fucking weenie of a person. What a limp noodle of a sack of flesh.
Left could say, you're Islamophobic, you're racist.
Oh.
So she brought that to the
You're Islamophobic and racist. We didn't need anyone's help to figure that out. You said so yourself.
left, saying, look at this guy. It's not that he's anti-Israel, but he's anti-Muslim.
Yes.
Well, he's also that. Generic wanted to point out also, they didn't understand that if Islamic countries would actually mostly be in Southeast Asia countries because they have have they have they have the highest Islamic citizen per capita. If we were to ban all Muslims, we wouldn't be able to watch the red blah, 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 blah. What are you trying to say? They thought all Muslims were in sand countries riding camels, is basically what, yes, what April said is basically what Generic is getting at. Correct. Because it wasn't about that. And something oil. And something racism. And something we don't understand anything about anything. We have no grasp of history, no grasp of constitutional law, zero grasp of geopolitics. Don't get me started on the lack of basic mathematics when it comes to economics.
That's very interesting.
Yes.
And so that clip appears on Media Matters, which at the time, I was the subject of a lot of attacks from them at the time. And people kind of...
Boo! People are criticizing me for the things that I say. Wah.
Listen to them.
Yeah.
Including on the right, they listen to them.
Yes.
So what happened?
So...
Facts don't care about your feelings. People listened to what the other side had to say and came to their own conclusions about the words that I said. Ah!
So I had to write an apology. My boss called me up and said, you need to apologize for what you said.
For being anti-Muslim.
Yes. And so I didn't write, I'm sorry, but I had to write something like, well, I should have chosen my words more carefully and this, that, and the other. And ultimately,
yeah, a PR non-apology statement. Yeah. Did you bring a ukulele?
Then they fired me
Anyway.
a couple weeks later. Yeah.
What,
Probably because you didn't do what the directive was. They told you to apologize and you just admitted you didn't do that. So you fucking didn't do the job you were told that you needed to do. And now you're mad that they fired you for not doing the job they told you to do. Unbelievable. Oh my god. This is, hold on, there's a meme for this. There's a meme that got dropped the other day in the Chesh meme base, and it's made me think of this. Hold on. It's this. I deliberately entered a thread full of things I don't like, and now I'm mad. How could this happen to me? Nick Fuentes is out here doing, I specifically did the thing they told me not to do. How could now they're mad. How could this happen to me? Yeah, it's Freerin. I've tried nothing and I'm out of ideas.
What was the pretext for that?
Well, they wanted to get in the White House press office. They wanted a press pass. And they said, the stuff you're saying on the show isn't like a good look for Right Side.
They wanted to have credibility so they could get better information and access to the White House. So they were like, you are a problem, go away. You're making us look bad and give us less credibility because you're fucking insane, you 18-year-old child. Get out of here. Oh, man. He's complaining like he's fucking Howard Stern. He's like, I'm Howard Stern. How could you possibly fire me for saying outrageous things? It's my brand to say outrageous things. But he's fucking 18-year-old weaselly fucking Nick Fuentes. Unreal. What a fucking prima donna. Good God. Remember when I said he reminded me of fucking Vic Mignogna? They're the same.
They're not going to let us into the White House if you're with us.
Yeah, go figure.
But the pressure in this scenario came exclusively from the Daily Wire.
Yes.
And you have evidence of this, do you?
Yes, because, and here's how I know why. My show got maybe
That's a good point. An 18-year-old thinks he knows everything. Wild. The thing that's wild about this is he's not 18 anymore. He was 18 in 2016. It's now 2025, and he's looking back at his 18-year-old self, and he still thinks he knows everything when he was 18. He hasn't changed his mind at all. Most people, by the time they reach the age of 27, look back and think about the things that they thought and what they fucking did when they were 18 and go, yeah. They have like a little bit of self-reflection and self-awareness and like a little bit of fucking can feel shame for the dumb shit they fucking did or said. But not fucking Nick over here. He's just like, yeah, I was right the whole fucking time. I haven't learned a single thing since I was 18.
100 live viewers every night?
Not a powerhouse show.
No. So the Media Matters was not onto me. They were put onto me by people in the right that wanted me canceled.
Phrasing.
Yeah, well, that's...
You mean the right wanted to cancel people in 2016 and it wasn't the left running around canceling everybody all the time? So when the right was complaining about the left's cancel culture, it was actually the right doing it the whole time? I'm shocked. I'm so surprised.
Interesting. So then what do? You're failing in school. Your show just got canceled. What's your plan now?
So I dropped out.
College.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And
so he didn't complete 1 year? That's worse than me. I at least completed 1 year.
Did college, and it was very expensive.
You hated college? I'm not surprised. You hated learning? Shocked.
And I had a substantial scholarship, but it was still expensive, and I didn't like it. So my plan was that I was going to go to a different college. I might work for a year, make some money. And eventually I got the show back about a month later. They came back, and by popular demand from my 100 viewers who were very dedicated, Right Side offered me the show back. And so I took the show again
So they either had received or were rejected for their press pass, and they were like, okay, you can come back.
The summer. And then I applied for a job at the Leadership Institute. And that was kind of the next big saga.
But you didn't get that job.
No, I did not get the job.
Why?
Well, I was told, because I knew people that worked there, that were field representatives there. It was a field representative job. And so I went out for a job training at the end of July 2017. So after that second semester, and I applied for this field rep job. It was just 2 weeks.
Yeah, so he literally didn't get through 1 year of college.
Training. And I go there, and on the first day of the whole thing, they go around the room of all the prospective applicants. It's like a big tryout, basically, for 2 weeks. And they wanted to get everybody to break the ice and know each other. So we did introductions. They said, say your name, how old you are, and why you're a conservative. And at this time, people are not where, let's say, we are right now. They're not America first. They're not anything like, they're not talking about great.
Yeah, it's Trump's first term. It's his first presidency. So, like, yeah, the vibe was still sort of America first, but not as, like, intense as it is and as it was for this last election cycle, right? It's like it wasn't the ball was at the beginning of rolling, not at the far end of rolling. Well, the snowball is smaller.
Replacement, that's not on the radar for them. So you go around the room and you hear stuff about small.
Agent said racists are 100% of the time dumb as fuck. To be a bigot, there is a prerequisite to be dumb. You have to be stupid to be a racist. You have to be stupid to be transphobic. You have to be stupid. It's a prerequisite. If you are not dumb, you can't be any of these things. So you might be smart at a field, like you might have a speciality that you're good at or you're smart at, but if you're racist, you're a fucking idiot. Hey, Landon, good to see you.
Government, free market.
Tucker Upchuck.
You know, personal responsibility, that sort of thing. And they get to me and I said, well, I'm a conservative because we're losing our civilization because of mass immigration.
What? What are you talking? Apple pie was not invented in America. Hamburgers were not invented in America. French fries were not invented in America. Fireworks, not invented in America. My guy. All of these things are foreign. the most United States food invention is the Chinese fortune cookie.
America doesn't resemble America anymore. France is no longer France. I said, and if we don't
What?
preserve the demographics, forget about the rest. That's what we need.
What are you talking about? You're equating culture with a statistical demographic as if those are the same thing? Okay.
Conserve. And I said that, and I was told later on that at that moment, I was immediately disqualified by the people that were running the job training.
Good! No shit! You don't say!
On what grounds?
They said that was too far right. That was too extreme.
Worrying about who lives in your country is far right?
Apparently.
Yes! Mind your own fucking business! Why do you fucking care? Stop sticking your nose into people's private property. They're there, they paid for it, they fucking bought the house, it's their space. Fuck off. Stop, don't you have other things to worry about whether or not the people that live across from you are white or brown enough? Shut up.
When we started this show, we were looking
Oh,
for a
no.
very specific sponsor. We wanted to find a company that could send us good meat. Better
Good meat, eh? Good meat? Okay. All right. Nice flannel you got going on there.
than anything you could buy in a
fuckwit.
grocery store that didn't have a lot of weird hormones in it or chemicals.
Weird
just good
hormones?
meat from the United States. And we found one, and we are proud to partner with them. They're called Merriweather Farms, and they produce
All right, Merriweather Farms. Time to figure out what you are. Well, hold on. I can't really see that. Oh, Merriweather Farms. All right, Merriweather Farms. Oh, God. Oh, boy. Beer. Oh, it's just a bucket of. All right. Beef sticks. Fuck off. I wonder if this is one of those things that's not allowed to be sold outside of America. Hold on. All right, here's some customer reviews. Oh, wow. That's not suspicious at all. That's not zero. That's no way, man. No, I can't really find any information on them. Like, the only information is, like, their own Facebook page, their own website, and their own Twitter. Oh, wait, hold on. Here's a Reddit post. Wyoming-based Merriweather Farm says Trump's plan to buy Argentinian beef would be an absolute betrayal. They voted for him and supported his policies. Why do you have companies that are doing politics? Oh my fucking god. Look at this fucking post. Oh no. Dear POTUS Trump, we love you and support you, but... Oh, was it written by ChatGPT? But your suggestion to buy beef from Argentina to stabilize beef prices would be an absolute betrayal to the American cattle rancher. We understand there are larger economic and geopolitical dynamics at play, including countering CCP, the China, influencing countries in our hemisphere. But the practice of solving problems over there before solving problems here on our soil is what contributed to the downfall of our country. Americans always come last. We understand beef prices are high and we admire your concern for all Americans, but this is not the fault of the American producer. This is the fault of politicians who have allowed BRICS, BRICS-aligned entities to dominate the meat industry that participate in price fixing and who also continually lie to their consumers. Washington for decades, Jesus Christ. Washington, this is a Dear John letter. Washington for decades has facilitated the squeezing of our own ranchers while allowing these entities to flood the market with cheaper, low-quality imports. And the American people don't even know these products are foreign because they are allowed to be marketed as product of the United States of the USA. On top of all this, there is only chaos coming from the Department of Agriculture. There is no true guidance, mixed messaging, and a copious amount of photo ops. There is no one to trust over there that truly understands the issues and isn't bought out by or aligned with big industries. Really? You don't say the oligarchy is stacked with the oligarchy? Fascinating. The American cattle rancher is one of the last symbols of independence we have in the nation. But the continued manipulation and betrayal by the very people who claim to support them needs to end immediately. While only representing 1% of the population. Guys, the call is coming from inside the house. They might have figured it out. The work is tireless, daily, in poor conditions, with low margin, without thanks. All in order to keep this country fed. We would be a failed nation if we continue to betray the very people who put food on the table for us. I don't mean to be the guy who says I told you so, but I absolutely love being the guy who said I told you so. And yeah, no shit, Sherlock. All of the United States presidency's current fucking policymakers are fucking over rural America? I'm shocked. Go fucking figure. It's not like we didn't talk about this before the fucking 2025 election. There are so many voices on the outside that support you and want to see you succeed. Maybe it's time to start listening to them. Your team knows how to get in touch with us. Sincerely, Merriweather Farms, October 20th, 2025. He only used their support to become president and stay out of jail. It's too bad they're so consumed with their bigotry that they didn't see this. Yeah, go figure. Anyway, do we want to look at their Twitter? I bet it's fucking terrible. Let's not. That's enough. I think that's enough. I don't think we need to cover more of it. All right, get on with your ad read. Blah, 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 blah. We voted for this. Instant regret. All right, blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Yes, yes, look at him waving around his meat stick. Fucking weirdo. All right.
So where does that leave you ideologically? Like, how are you changing at this point?
So at this point...
He's not. That's the whole point. The whole point so far is that he has not changed his fucking way of doing things, his thought process, nor like his fucking idea on policy since he was 18. A whole America First was tried before in history, by the way, sort of at least. This started in 1914 with Wilson and expanded further in 1920 with Harding. You should know where that ended up in 1929. Yeah, go figure.
I'm realizing that something is deeply wrong here in the conservative movement because
they don't like me.
In those days of the campus culture wars and Gamergate and all that is that we're the marketplace of ideas and we're a
fucking Gamergate. Oh my fucking god. Does Tucker Carlson know what Gamergate is? Like
about free speech and the rest of it. And here I am being like nuked from orbit by Ben Shapiro as a kid. And for asking what I thought were reasonable questions.
Is 18 considered a child in the United States? The age for drinking in Ontario in Canada is 19. Driving is 16. Quebec is lower. Like, depending on which province you are, the age of drinking changes. So, isn't the drinking age in the United States 21 and joining the army 18? Aren't you considered an adult at 18 in the United States? If you haven't figured it out, I'm not American. I'm not from the United States.
Because I didn't come from some strange background. I come from a normal home. You know, my parents are Catholic. They're married. We came from a relatively affluent suburb.
Hey, that's racist. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. My family is normal. Proceeds to describe a specific religion, a specific family dynamic, a specific area of living, and deciding that that is normal is racist. That's bigoted because you're deciding that you're the normal line. You're not the normal line. The idea of the nuclear family is a relatively new idea, especially if you look at anywhere outside of the United States. Different people in different cultures have different family dynamics and expectations. China, Japan, France, Canada, the United States, Mexico, Brazil, all of them use different shit. South Korea, North Korea, Russia, it's all fucking different. You don't get to decide what normal is, Nick. And making the assumption and making these statements is the problem. You also told us that you spent your entire high school listening to fucking right-wing propaganda. That's not normal. Most fucking teenagers don't spend their days in high school with no friends listening to nothing but political bullshit. That's not normal. God. What a loser.
I went to Lyons Township. That's like a very affluent high school. In other words, I didn't wake up as like the son of, William Luther Pierce. I wasn't like a skinhead or something. I was like a normal guy that was like, yeah, like country's too diverse. We're too
Tucker Carlson was shocked that you listened to that podcast guy when you were 18. And then when you explained it further, he was actually baffled by what you were saying. Because it's fucking weird.
Pro-Israel, like this is reasonable. And I was just getting sandbagged for it and blacklisted. And what's more, nobody cared. Like, because I remember going on Twitter and saying like, why isn't anyone sticking up for me? Where's Dave Rubin? The free speech warrior. Where's he on this one? Where's Shapiro? Where's all these people?
Wow, it's almost like they're hypocrites and the stuff that they say isn't true about the way that they actually fucking behave is counterintuitive to things that they pretend that they want. I.e., the free speech anti-cancel culture group are a group that like to deny people's free speech, don't understand what it is at best, and also like to cancel people, i.e. Bud Light. A la that whole tantrum freak out that was. Zell for 5 said this guy is excellent nightmare fuel. Nick Fuentes? Yes, absolutely. He 100% is.
And in some way, they were all sort of complicit in this. So I realized that the conservative movement was completely bankrupt in that way.
Yeah. Well,
and I became very radical.
Well, you became, let me just say, I'm so familiar with, I was much older when it happened to me and much more insulated. I was not a college student. I was like 45. So, and I was in
You mean when you got fired from Fox News because you were bullshitting and your texts got released and you're a fucking idiot? And yeah, and I don't think, is anybody really going to pretend that Nick Fuentes isn't extreme? He's absolutely extreme. At what point have we seen enough of this pundit? Well, we're 30 minutes into the 2 hours. So take that for what you will. We have been live for 2 hours, though. This is a good time for a break. Let's do that. Let's take a break. Hold on, I'm setting up the break. Just a second. Hold on. Ah, shit. All right, I'll be back in a minute. Yeah, alright, we're back. I hope you all got snacks and drinks. Thanks so much for joining me so far. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe, and join the comments of this later, because it's probably going to be a shit show. I definitely do recommend. There's nothing I enjoy more than fucking watching these fucking morons get pissed off. They're so funny. They're so sad. It's very amusing to me. All right. Should we have a series on American history to educate people? Should we? I don't know about that. Tucker is the ultimate gentleman of Putin GOP. America first, unless he's playing a Russia propaganda pasty, or unless he doesn't like the type of life you live. Yeah, right? It's like all about freedoms until you're not normal enough, or you're not white enough, or you're not gay enough. Jeez. Alright. Yeah, Tucker's a fucking piece of work, that's for sure. That Russian vibrator up his ass is doing work.
Much better place to withstand the pressure, but I do think and I want to, this is my main question to you, is when you get attacked, when people call you names, like they always called me racist, and I would always think,
I would like to put, racist isn't calling you a name. Calling you dipshit McGee or dishonest McBumblefuck is calling you a name. Saying you're racist is an assessment based on X, Y, or Z. And now X, Y, or Z could be bad reasons and the person could be wrong, but that doesn't make it, like, that's not name calling in the way that you're describing it. And being critical of the things you say isn't an attack in the way that you're describing it. So all of this is semantics. They're just weaponizing specific semantics rhetorically to invoke an emotional response from the facts don't care about your feelings audience. Go figure.
think to myself, I'm actually not. I would tell you if I was racist. I'm a little sexist.
I would tell you if I was racist. I'm a little bit sexist. Just a little bit, Tucker?
But I'm not racist. And I never understood why they did that. And then I thought...
You think that maybe the fact that you didn't understand it doesn't mean it's not the case.
Maybe the point is to make me racist. Where you just...
So now he's admitting he's racist, but he's been made racist by other people? Man, I didn't realize it was somebody else's responsibility for me to make a decision about my political alignments that attacks particular minorities. Huh. Tucker's just asking questions, yeah. Fuck.
You get to a point where you're like, well, if you're going to slander me, then I'll just become the thing you're calling.
Can I also, by the way, point out that the Nick Fuentes, Tucker Carlson fans that have even bothered to post in here have started with name calling. That was the first thing that they did, and they've said almost nothing else. Go figure. Wait till they see my hair. They're gonna haul ass. They're gonna be lost in the sauce, my guy.
Me. I do think that's a feature of human nature, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
And if you stare too intently at the accusers, at the, whatever Ben Shapiro's or Mark Levin's or Ted Cruz or whoever it is calling you names, it like distorts you and you actually change and become what they say you are. Have you...
Did they call Jordan Peterson into this? Is that what I'm witnessing right now? To be fair, most racists do let you know that they're racist. They just don't realize they're doing it. Yeah, fair enough. So, there is something to be said about peer or societal pressure to behave or act in a certain way. So, for example, like Wicked recently came out, right? And part of the story of Wicked is that the good witch is the good witch because society decides that she is, and Elphaba, the Wicked Witch of the West, is the Wicked Witch of the West, not based on her behavior, but based on mob mentality. That is a real thing. If somebody particularly if you're doing it to somebody who's young or somebody who is particularly impressionable, if you call them something enough, they tend to or will or might be likely to take on that mantle. And so it's like if you're going to blame somebody for something all the time, they might start engaging to the behavior because they're fucking getting called or they're being told that they're that thing anyway, right? So it's like if you run around and call people thieves all the time, then they might fucking start just being like, well, you're arresting me and ostracizing me like I'm a thief anyway. I may as well actually steal something, right? I may as well get the one thing I'm supposed to be benefiting from. But Tucker is saying this with zero fucking self-reflection and zero fucking, like, mental acuity or awareness that would mean that, hey, maybe that's what happens when I say shit like this and convince mobs of people of things about minorities. Like, maybe, therefore I shouldn't make assumptions about people's race or their sex. Maybe? No? Hey, Honest Red, it's good to see you.
Thought that ever? Do you worry that that happened to you?
No, I don't think it ever did because
Because I have no fucking ability to self-reflect.
I know who I am. I had a very firm grounding of what I'm about, which is that I was deeply
This man has literally been 18 his entire life.
Catholic, and I still am. Deeply patriotic and pro-American, and I don't consider myself temperamentally to be an angry or a hateful person. So I never, in other words, lost my sense.
Yeah, but if somebody says that you're angry or hateful, it doesn't mean they're talking about your temperament. You can be super chill and say awful shit. It's not even hard.
You know, they say this thing about you look into the abyss and the abyss stares back into you. That never really happened to me. I was frustrated. I was
the abyss the whole time. Nobody made me awful. I was always awful. That's what he's saying. That's amazing.
Because I felt like I was being denied a level playing field, opportunity. And
oh, really? And that made you frustrated and made you lash out and want to change the system? Something civil rights movements?
It wasn't fair. I felt like I was right, and these people that were basically hypocrites, grifters.
You felt like you were right, therefore these people were hypocrites and grifters? Your feelings? Oh dear.
Not really conservative. They were controlling the conversation, and as a consequence, they were controlling the Republican movement. And I really perceive this as like an urgent crisis. Because if we wanted Trump to deliver America first, to realize it, the Trump movement had to transform the conservative movement to reflect the victory that Trump won.
So, I won't keep torturing you with biographical questions, but
I would like to point out that it was Lindsey Graham, a conservative, who said that if we bring Trump in, it is going to destroy the Republican Party. So, you know.
Do you want to, like, so how, your show gets canceled, you drop out of college, you have no money, you decide you want to work at the Leadership Institute, which is like a conservative think tank or some organization of longstanding in Arlington, Virginia. Mm-hmm. Can't get the job there because you're worried about immigration. So
no, because he was a dick to everybody in the industry, and the industry is small. It's like it's the same as the Vic Mignogna problem. I pissed off everybody in the industry, and I was a dick to everybody, and now nobody wants to work with me.
Pretty amazing. And then, like, where does that leave you? How did you succeed?
Well, I continued doing my show. I did it independently.
What does that mean? How do you do it? How do you do a show independently? Like, how did you do it?
I started a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And I was in my parents' basement.
My YouTube channel in my parents' basement. And here we fucking are. Good fucking God. I don't think that starting a YouTube channel in your parents' basement is inherently a bad thing. But can we please talk about for a second how absurdly fucking privileged Nick Fuentes is? You want to talk about how he's bitching about he didn't feel like life was fair to him? My guy, come on. Tucker is doing a show independently. How did he not know? I was thinking the exact same thing. Tucker also has been basically blacklisted from the industry that he used to work in. But that's okay. I will always remember him for getting his ass beat by Jon Stewart in Crossfire.
And I put up a green screen. I got my computer, webcam, And I just started going live every night in the same way that I did at RSBN. I just did it on my own channel where I had creative control over it. And at that point, I basically mounted an attack on the
Phrasing.
conservative establishment from the outside. I sort of realized that there's sort of two ways you could play this. You could infiltrate the conservative movement. I could recant all my views and apologize and pretend to be one of them and bypass the gatekeepers, the censors. I said, or I could kind of be in the wilderness and I would be alone and I would be radioactive, but I could challenge the credibility and legitimacy of the conservative movement and its claim to represent conservatives. And that was kind of the mission, was to say, no, the immovable standard is America first. I'm going to represent it. And the conservative movement is going to have to move to me. I will not move towards them. And I thought maybe I'll make money and maybe I won't, but I'm going to try it for a couple of years and I'll see how it goes.
So, but the site.
I mean, yeah, that's idea. That is in fact what he did, and it seems to. I mean, I think worked is maybe like pushing it a little bit, but yeah.
Picture in your head was enemy is conservative movement.
Yes.
Do you think that
Because they personally slighted him, and he believed that he was right about things.
that was a good choice?
Yes, absolutely.
Rather than like, but why not like Antifa or, you know, I don't know, Anti-Defamation League, or there are a lot of institutions on like George Soros. Like, why would it be their conservative establishment? Why did you think that was important?
Well,
He literally just explained it for the last 40 minutes that they personally slighted him and he believed that he was right.
I kind of took a page from Trump's playbook, which is that you have to, in the country.
He followed the Trump grift. He followed the popularity of Donald Trump and took advantage of it. He already explained this.
The left was hegemonic over all the institutions. And you have this organized opposition to the left and the Democrats and all the left-wing controlled institutions. And the organized
they're not controlled by left-wing politics, my guy. It's just education, and educated people tend to the left. Maybe you should look into why that is instead of just saying that the hegemon of the Democrats control and monopolize everything when you literally exist, and so clearly they don't. I would also like to point out, by the way, this oligarchy issue that he's talking about like mainstream owning or being owned by like Democrats and yada, 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 yada. First off, that's not true. Second off, if you actually spend any time looking into it, and you look into anybody who's like spent money supporting Donald Trump, particularly through 2025, is Jeff Bezos, is your fucking Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg. So these social media platforms and mainstream media platforms make up a portion of the oligarchy, right? So it's not like Trump is not an outsider. He presented himself as if he was one, but he is not. He's definitively not. Remember all the swamp draining he never did? Hey, remember how the Doge never fucking filed a claim of fraud against a single fucking person? Go fucking figure.
Opposition comes from
Gravity is a left-wing communist deep space conspiracy to keep people down. Right? Like, the
conservatism, the Republican Party, Fox News, the sort of constellation of conservative institutions. And I said, the problem is, whether you go Democrat or you go Republican, you're kind of just like getting the...
He knows that all of the schools are Democratic because people didn't like him in school, so he dropped out before the end of his first year. So that means he totally understands the full structure of the school and how it functions, guys, obviously.
The same thing. You're getting the establishment effectively. The opposition is basically controlled or moderated. It's not authentic opposition. It's not a true alternative. And so I said, we, and by we, I mean the true America First nationalists, we need to fight.
The true America First nationalists. Why doesn't this guy just wear a white hood?
For the mantle of the opposition. And then leading the opposition, then we can take the fight to the left. as the conservatives, as the Republicans, whatever. But first, you have to win that internal battle among the audience that the conservatives have.
And this is exactly what I keep saying about factions within the MAGA movement, factions within right-wing extremism, right? Nick Fuentes does, in fact, represent a faction within Trumpism. And from my understanding, as of right now, he's actually really frustrated and has been angry at Trump for not being as extreme as Trump presented himself to be initially.
That's really the problem, is that they have usurped. The base is extremely conservative, extremely anti-left, but the Republican Party, like those that represent them, are not at all. A lot of them are atheists, a lot of them are gay, a lot of them are feminists. And so I said,
all the gay, atheist, feminists, Republicans that exist? Oh, okay.
like we kind of need to rally, like Trump did, rally the base against the establishment, and then take the fight to the left as the true alternative. And if you can win that, then you win the country. That was kind of Trump's model.
What did you see as like the most important gatekeepers that needed to be overturned?
It's a cult.
Pushed aside in order to do this.
It was the Zionist Jews, like Dave Rubin.
The Jews! I fucking told you. It's almost like Ben Shapiro just pegged you really early as a fucking anti-Semite. Go fucking, if the clown shoe fits, Nick.
Like Ben Shapiro, like Dennis Prager. It was these the guys that were really controlling the media apparatus that seemed to me to be the biggest impediment.
Scared, Daddy?
Fox is not a Jewish business, though.
Well, Rupert Murdoch is an ally of Netanyahu, so he's
True.
aligned.
Yeah.
Got him. Fox News is part of the Jewish conspiracy, guys. Oh boy, yeah. No, we'll citation needed him. Yeah.
And he owns the whole News Corp empire, so, and yeah, he's certainly a part of it also.
Like I said, I agree that there is a problem with mainstream media in the United States. I don't think we agree on what the problem actually is, or we agree partially on what the problem is. And the issue is money. Money in politics, money in having 24-hour news cycles that is based on making money rather than actually just presenting the news as it is. Some things being too opinion-based over time is problematic. Having it run by capitalism in this unregulated, no standards, fucking journalistic integrity problem, that's an issue. I agree with Nick about that. He's right that that's a problem, but it's not the Jews.
I mean, Dave Rubin, though.
Muppet?
Does he matter?
No, not really.
Right. I mean, Dave Rubin is like, I don't know. Do people watch Dave Rubin?
I don't know, Tucker. Do people watch Dave Rubin?
He did back then. I mean, because you got to consider they were kind of like the ascendant new media, you know?
Yeah, them and like the Young Turks and stuff. Sure, yeah, I'll give you that. Hold on, let me check for you. Let me find out if people are watching Dave Rubin or not. Well, we'll go to YouTube. We'll go to Dave Rubin. I kind of forget that Dave Rubin exists. I'm not gonna lie. So, comparatively speaking, Dave Rubin, shut up, has 3.11 million subscribers. And Tucker Carlson is currently sitting at 4.95 million subscribers. So there's like a 2 million roughly difference between the two. This has 5.4 million views. And let's take a recent video from, see if we've got like something that's functional from a week ago. We're just giving it like a reasonable time frame to see if it kind of matches a little bit. Nice thermometer. Yeah, thanks, Dapper. 2 days ago. God, this guy puts out a lot of fucking content. Jesus. 7 days ago. 8 days ago. Okay, 8 days ago. 187,000 views 8 days ago. So comparatively, yeah, comparatively more people are watching Nick Fuentes. At least in Nick Fuentes' interview with Tucker Carlson. I'm struggling to see something that is, like, comparative, like, content-wise. But I guess we could check. Let's see. Videos. 100,000. So the Nick Fuentes video seems like a one that's just gotten a lot of views comparatively. So it breaks 1 million here, breaks 1 million on this Alex Jones one. This Alex Jones one's fucking insane, dude. Charlie Sheen didn't quite break 1 million. So yeah, like they're roughly comparable when you look at their subscriber numbers. So yeah, people watch Dave Rubin. Maybe not as many people that watch Tucker Carlson. Shano, for $7.99, Australian, said, where's my fainting couch? They're trying to find consensus with the left. Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
They represented the next big thing.
I mean, and Ben Shapiro seems irrelevant to me now.
But back then, for the young,
I guess that's
was huge.
true.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you won.
Oh, certainly.
Well, it wasn't that long ago that many Americans thought they were inherently...
There are a lot of fucking ads that are really fucking long. All right, what's he talking about this
from
time?
the kinds of disasters you hear about all the time in third world countries. A total power loss, for example, or people freezing to death in their own homes. That could never happen here. Obviously, it's America.
That happens in Texas last year. What are you talking about? That literally happened. That's fucking Ted Cruz land. What the fuck? What the fuck? Are you seriously making, this is an ad, my guy. Oh, that's bad. That's fucking bad. Bad news bears, my friend. Oh, that's, yikes. Shapiro finds out he's on the side of Nazis. Yeah, hold on. I got a post recently. Let me see if I can, somebody posted it, I think, in Educational Political. Let me see if I can find it. It was like yesterday, I think somebody posted it. It was something like Nick Fuentes had tweeted something and it fucking... Oh, come on. Was it in memes? That probably wasn't in memes. No. No, it's not there. Nick Fuentes. See if I can find it. Exclusive Heritage Foundation in revolt over Tucker Carlson. Yeah. People are mad. What's this one? Nick Fuentes, a lot of women want to be raped. Oh, yeah, Yeah, that sounds like Nick. I'm not seeing it. Where the fuck is it? It's not gonna be there. There was a tweet he put out. He was retweeting Ben Shapiro. Maybe if I find Ben. Hold on. No, that's Nux Taku. Oh. Nope. Damn it! This is too bad. Unfortunate. I didn't save it. Oh well. Another time. What's this ad about?
People are recalculating, unfortunately, because they have no choice. The last few years have taught us that. Remember when the power grid in Texas failed in the dead of winter? Yeah, it happened, and it could happen again. So
using poor management by Texas governors and Senate leaders and leaders in Texas, and using the fact that people died as a way to shill your shit is kind of fucking cringe.
Government is not actually as reliable as you hope they would be, and the truth is the future is unforeseeable, and things do seem to be getting a little squirrely. So if the grid does go down, you need power you can trust. Last Country Supply's newest product.
Last Country Supplies. All right. Last Country Supplies. All right, let's see. Okay, emergency. Oh my god. Founded by Tucker Carlson. He's fucking shilling ads for his own shit. Oh my god. You know what I thought would be really, really funny? If I had, like, money to waste, which I don't, but if I did, I thought it would be really, really funny to, like, to buy all of these. So, like, buy this one, buy the fucking, like, the food and the fucking survival crunch food, and, like, buy the Alex Jones one, and buy the one that, like, the fucking Christian group puts out, and then do, like, a taste test, do, like, a comparable, and just see which one is the best, or which one is shit. Like, the fucking food kits, survival protein, Tucker Carlson food buckets. Our story. Oh god, what is this? 100-hour candle 12-pack. $119. Jesus Christ. Hey, what do you mean solar? That's fucking climate change green shit. Why isn't this charged by gasoline and gunpowder? They got a fucking wireless solar bill. $89.95. Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. Water filtration. Drink your own piss. Alexa Purer. $279.99. We are gonna be doing Goblin Survives the Apocalypse soon, so look out for that. Anyway, again, I would like to remind you all that the estimated deaths from USAID funding cuts by this administration is upwards of 380,000 people. Because I think it's important to remind people of that. Anyway.
Product is designed for
blah, blah,
white
blah,
people.
blah, 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 blah.
Well, I see as, you know, I'll narrow it down to foreign policy. Okay. Who is effectively opposing neoconservative foreign policy, which has been the dominant foreign policy of the United States for my entire life, which has been so destructive, I think, and I've seen it. Who are the voices who are sincere in their opposition to that and who have some ability to change the country's orientation on foreign policy? And those would include Marjorie Taylor Greene, J.D. Vance, Matt Gaetz.
J.D. Vance, who got, like, trolled and booed out of fucking Greenland. he's gonna save your foreign policy, is he? This is the same JD Vance that follows fucking that follows Femboy Artworks. That JD Vance? Well, I mean, I guess that tracks, because isn't Nick Fuentes a big Femboy fan? It's okay, I like Femboys too.
Me. But you've attacked all of those people.
Yeah.
Why would you, and almost Joe Kent, those strike me as someone who's really interested in this topic. I'm not that interested in the Jews, but I'm very interested in the foreign policy question.
I'm not interested in the Jews, so I'm just gonna let you pontificate about how bad the Jews are with zero pushback.
Those seem like the most sincere people. Those seem like the only hope of the country to get away from this destructive, really self-destructive cycle. Why attack them?
Well, in short, they attacked me first.
Yeah, but like, who cares?
They attacked me first. Again, I would like to point out that is literally what he's been saying the whole time, and Tucker is just trying to make it sound and give him an opportunity to, like, justify and make himself seem like a better person than he is, and Nick Fuentes is just sitting here with his dick out being like, no, I'm just a piece of shit. And, like, Tucker's just trying so hard to let fucking Nick Fuentes not be a piece of shit. And Nick's just like, nah, fam, I'm here to be a piece of shit. Nick Fuentes like, oh, is it cat boys, not femboys? Did I get that wrong? My bad.
Well, let's take Joe Kent.
I mean, you attack me constantly.
Well,
and I'm like, I don't really give a shit. I want to meet the guy.
You attacked me first, too.
No, but what I'm saying is...
You attacked me first. So you don't actually care about any of these policies or these issues. You only care that somebody said, criticized you. Because again, I would like to remind you that Nick Fuentes' version of attack is they criticized the thing I said.
I'm not whining about it.
Sure.
I'm just saying, like, so? You know what I mean?
Well,
Nick Fuentes is mad right now because Tucker Carlson just said he doesn't care what he thinks and it doesn't matter.
I don't say so because, like, take Joe Kent, for instance. I supported Joe Kent, and I talked to Joe Kent. I got introduced to him.
So, therefore, he should have some kind of loyalty directed at me forever. And if he doesn't, he's a traitor, and fuck him. Joe Kent. I don't know who Joe Kent is, so I'm gonna look up who Joe Kent is. Okay, can we assume that this is the Joe Kent he's talking about? American politician, former United States warrant officer, and former Central Intelligence Agency preliminary officer who served as the director of the National Counterterrorism Center since 2025. Member of the Republican Party, Kent was a Republican candidate in the United States House of Representatives election for Washington's 3rd Congressional District 2022 and 2024. Served 2 combat tours in Iraq. Campaign for the House. February 2025. Trump named Kent as his nominee for the National Counterterrorism Center. That month, he began serving as chief of staff to Tulsi Gabbard, the director of national intelligence. Kent was confirmed in the Senate in July. So he's a Trumper. Domestic issues. It has been described as far right. He voted for George W. Bush in 2000 and 2004. Libertarianism, supporting Ron Paul, registered with the Liberal Party in 2012 until 2019 when he became a Democrat. He voted for Bernie Sanders in the 2020 Democratic presidential primaries in order to support Republicans in that year's presidential election. What? He voted? Are you serious? What kind of fucking nonsense? I'm gonna vote for Bernie Sanders to destabilize the Democratic Party in the primaries to support the Republican that year. Inclusive populism, ugh. Adhered to the false claims of 2020 presidential election fraud. Yeah, okay. A month following the January 6th Capitol attack, he stated that Donald Trump had no control over the mob. Yeah, okay. Attended the Justice for J6 rally and compared the treatment of rioters to that of Iraq citizens in the Iraq War. He later called for releasing security footage of the attack and claimed that the mob was brought to violence by provocateurs associated with the deep state. After the FBI search of Mar-a-Lago, Kent told Steve Bannon on War Room that the raid constituted war, and he called for defunding of the FBI in response. Led a rally against a false claim that Washington State Board of Health was set to forcibly quarantine citizens who did not get the Covfefe vaccine. In March, he appeared at an event organized by the Washington State 3 Percenters far-right militia. Kent once advocated for a federal ban on abortion, but later narrowed his position towards states' rights. By the following month, he had called for an investigation into Anthony Fauci over the origin of SARS, Covfefe 2, and for a complete shutdown in immigration to the United States. In September, Kent stated that Fauci should be charged with murder and described the Covfefe vaccine as experimental gene therapy. He is unvaccinated, unlike Trump. At a rally with Matt Gaetz in September of 2021, Kent advocated for school vouchers. Conference held in Washington Marriott Marquis in April of 2022, Kent argued that the political establishment seeks to initiate a conflict with Russia, including by providing military assistance to Ukraine. What do you mean establish a fucking... initiate a conflict with Russia? Russia's been initiating conflict with Russia. He stated that Russia's President Vladimir Putin demands for Donetsk and oblasts were very reasonable. His comments on Tucker Carlson tonight denounced support for Ukraine as deterring a peace deal. Oh, okay. Good God. Unbelievable. What a piece of shit. No wonder Nick Fuentes supported him. So what did he do that pissed off Nick Fuentes?
And by Matt Brainerd. Matt Brainerd went to my conference in 2021. He bought a table.
Was he his campaign manager?
He was.
Okay.
Or he was a consultant, but he was, he was on the campaign. Yeah. And so I met Matt Brainerd. He liked me a lot. He loved my conference in February 21, which he bought a table at for his organization, Look Ahead America. And in 2021, we, and by we, I mean my nonprofit and myself and my team, we wanted to support America First candidates in the midterms. Like you said, authentic opponents.
Me too.
Yeah. And
That's
so
how I found Joe Kent.
Yes. And so I met a lot of the people in that sort of scene. Like Ryan Gerdusky, I know, is very supportive of Joe Kent, and other people that are more private I don't want to name, but they put me on, not just to Joe Kent, but Patrick Witt in Georgia, Gibbs in Michigan, a lot of different people. And Joe Kent was one of them.
You know what that sounds like? It kind of sounds like you're specifically selecting candidates and bolstering them to push your political agenda with money, which would generally be considered, if the other side did it, by you, to be corruption and some deep state shit. His nonprofit needs an audit. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, can we get on that? Well, probably we can't probably do that in this administration. We might need to wait for another one. This is the same Nick Fuentes who was at the White House having dinner with Kanye West.
And I had a phone call with Joe Kent. And I told him, I had my assistant on the phone too, who's Jewish, by the way, just because I want.
I'm not anti-Semitic. My assistant's a Jew. Unreal.
You to know I'm cool like that. You know, I don't judge. But so I'm on the phone with Joe, and I said, look, we support you, and we want to do everything we can to help you. We want to have my followers knock on doors for you. We want to boost your social media. Anything that you need, we want to help you. I said, and we don't even want to be publicly associated. I said, because we know that that might hurt you.
We don't want anybody to tell anybody else where this money is coming from and who's supporting you, because then they might think you're a shitty person. Oh, real transparent about where politicians are getting their money, guys. I bet Israel loves you. I bet they don't. I've been running around talking about how Benjamin Netanyahu needs to be arrested, and I've been applauding my prime minister for when asked if Netanyahu would be arrested if he landed on our soil, and he said yes without hesitation, because he's a war criminal, because of crimes against humanity, because of the genocide that Netanyahu is giving. So I really doubt the Israeli government would like me. I very, very much doubt that.
I said, the only thing that we ask in return is you can't disavow me if the media asks. And you can say whatever you need to say, but you can't disavow. And he said, yeah.
Don't shit talk me. No matter what I say, don't don't criticize me ever. Oh, yeah, that's normal. That's definitely showing both sides. It's very authentic, right? That's the word he used, authentic.
I totally agree with you, because if we start disavowing each other, then we're just going to eat each other alive and the left wins. We're in agreement. And a couple months later, Joe tweeted in support of me, because I had been banned on all social media. I was on the no-fly list. So he said something on Twitter like...
This is the January 6th shit.
You know, Nick Fuentes shouldn't be banned. He should not be censored. A month after that, I put out on Twitter, I said, Joe Kent is one of the most impressive America First candidates that's running in 22. Well, fast forward a whole year later, I do my annual...
Don't deny me.
conference, AFPAC, in February 22. Marjorie Taylor Greene attends. It's we had 1,200 people, and it got a lot of media attention. And I'm driving home, because I'm on the no-fly list at this time. I'm driving home from Florida.
Can I ask you to pause?
Who the fuck gave this man a driver's license?
Because I'm on the no-fly list at this time. I'm driving home from Florida.
Can I ask you to pause? By no-fly list, you mean not extra scrutiny, but like not allowed to fly in airplanes in the United States?
Not allowed to fly, yes.
How old were you?
I was 23.
Did you have any?
I'm sorry, is there an age limit to this? There's a rule about ages. I'm gonna double check Nick Fuentes, like why Nick Fuentes was on the no-fly list. Because I thought it was January 6th, but I'm getting corrected in the chat, so I want to find out why he was on a no-fly list. Here we go. 2021, according to Reddit. Let's see. I can't get to Florida today because I'm on a no-fly list. This was 5 years ago, posted on Reddit. I'll be addressing this with my prepared remarks on the Florida big tech legislation during the press conference at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. But why was he on the no-fly list? He said earlier this year he was just kidding about ambushing a flight attendant in the parking lot. What? Sorry, excuse me? What? White supremacist and Trump apologist Nick Fuentes encourages his viewers to kill legislators in his stream last night on D-Live. Oh, I forgot about D-Live. Earning $280,000 for his effort. Okay, well, let's see what he said. Yeah, hold on. Oh my god, this is inaudible. Can we crank this, maybe? Let's...
Why? Because we had no leverage. What are we going to do? What can you and I do to a state legislator besides kill him? Although we should not do that. I'm not advising that, but I mean, what else can you do, right?
I'm not advising that, but I'm saying it's our only option. I think that might be... Okay. All right. What's this other one here? This other one is... From last night's show, Nick Fuentes outlines 3,500 viewers a graphic fantasy of killing flight attendants in an airport parking lot. The next day today, Nick and many of his fans will fly across the country into D.C. for tomorrow's pro-Trump rally.
I've never seen anything else. Excuse me, could you put your mask on? Yeah, and let me tell you, I'm gonna land, and then I'm gonna get in the airport parking lot, and I'm gonna wait for you, and then I'm gonna put a mask over your face, your mouth and nose.
Oh,
you still need to be wearing the mask even if you can't breathe. So
okay, all right. This one says that it should note that he is likely banned from flying because he refused to mask up and harass the flight attendant, asking him to do so back in December. So here is the example. So it looks like he was banned from flying because of Kofafe and him being a fucking weird, creepy, assaulty freak. White nationalist Nick Fuentes kicked off a flight for being an insufferable little shit. And it says, I think I'm about to be kicked off my flight to PA because my mask isn't covering my nose. Yep, just got kicked off. Here's the best. I never refused to wear the mask, but the flight attendant had the plane go back to the gate and had me removed because of the attitude. Power trip. But if it wasn't covering your nose, then you weren't wearing your mask, you fucking idiot. I got up and looked at him in the eye and said, hey, fuck you. Yeah, all right, yeah, the real story. Nick was proud to verbally assault airliner employees, and now they don't want him back. The government isn't the problem, Nick. It's just being a terrible person. Yeah, all right, yeah, fair enough. I stand corrected. It was not January 6th stuff. It was just him being the fucking worst.
Felony convictions?
No.
Okay. I wasn't even aware that could happen. How long were you not allowed to fly in airplanes in the United States?
1 year.
It's really crazy.
Yeah, it was.
Sorry, I just want to get that out there.
No, yeah, it's brutal.
Maybe, Tucker, you could have fucking looked it up. This is my problem with Tucker Carlson's interview. It's not who he's interviewing. It's not why he's interviewing them. It's that this man literally has no context in which to provide any real opinion about anything that has happened with Nick Fuentes. Like, he's not going to push back on anything. He's not going to even question him about anything. This is so softball. Good God.
You confirm that you were not allowed to fly in airplanes.
Yes,
period.
I have the letter from the TSA. Yeah. I was on the do not board list.
Sorry to interrupt you.
By the way, this is the same crowd that is like, we want freedom of speech, and also companies are allowed to serve whoever they want to serve. Private companies. The same group of people. Airlines are privately owned companies. They're allowed to make these decisions, particularly if you're a hazard to the other people in the plane.
No, it's crazy. But so anyway, so I'm driving home from Florida after my conference, and I get people start texting me. Joe Ken is on Twitter, and he says, I condemn Nick Fuentes, especially his views on Israel. That's the tweet. And I texted Joe, and I said, seriously? And he texts me back, and he says, we win by addition, not subtraction. I go, well, you just subtracted me out of the movement. I said, because I don't support you anymore. He goes back for seconds. He goes on Twitter and says, Nick Fuentes and his...
You can't even disagree with me about one single fucking thing publicly, because if you do, you're out of the club. Yeah, that's not a cult, guys. That's definitely normal and definitely okay and definitely healthy to public discourse and definitely healthy to politics. Definitely freedom of speech to not be allowed to disagree with Nick Fuentes. Does this seem reasonable to you? Does that make sense to anybody? You can't disagree on a single fucking policy if you don't goose step get in line with fucking Nick Fuentes? That he's gonna fucking disavow you forever? And then he's gonna cry about it years later, and he's gonna be a little fucking whiny bitch boy forever because that's who he is as a person.
Focus on race and religion does not fit with my message of inclusive populism. Inclusive populism. That doesn't sound like authentic America first. That sounds like bullshit to me. And
okay.
I don't know. I know he's your friend, but I don't know him that well. And
Right.
I'm not on the team.
You know, Nick, you can disagree with somebody about a specific thing and agree on other things, and that generally is how the world moves forward socially. It's not typical to say that you can only work with somebody if they 100% agree with you on every single fucking thing. Dapper says he stepped on a thorn, and I would like to point out that that leads directly to every single dinosaur movie where the T-Rex gets a thorn in its foot and somebody smaller has to pull it out.
Well, so my read on Joe Kent was...
You know what doesn't sound like America first? Nick Fuentes' opinion first. That doesn't sound very pro-American. That doesn't sound very pro-American dream of life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness for all people. That sounds like only Nick Fuentes or the highway.
He's totally sincere. He, like me, has always been committed to separating out like foreign policy views from ethnicity, not because, I mean, obviously I'm denounced as an anti-Semite every day.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really care what ADL thinks of me, but my Christian faith tells me that there's no such thing as blood guilt and virtue or sin.
What do you mean? Jesus' whole thing was spilling his blood to absolve you. What do you mean Christianity doesn't believe in blood guilt? That's literally a core function of the religion. What? I know you're not a T-Rex, but like not very many cartoons from my childhood that I'm remembering use anything but T-Rexes.
Is not inherited. It's not a feature of DNA. So every person must be assessed.
What do you mean? The sins of the father to the sins of the son? The entire Adam and Eve ate the apple, so therefore all of us are born with sin forever? And then Jesus dying and spilling his blood? That is literally blood guilt, my guy. That is literally what it is. Am I crazy? Have I lost my mind? Are we done? Do we need to stop at fucking the Christian getting Christian ideology completely wrong and completely opposite so he can conveniently ignore a very obvious problem in his political... Oh, I took my glasses off. Uh-oh. Do we stop here? How far did we get? Okay, we're gonna go 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes, and then we'll stop, because that'll put us almost at the halfway mark.
Individually, as God assesses each person individually. And that's like a foundational view. So I
Wrong.
always thought it's great to criticize and it's question like our relationship with Israel because it's insane and it hurts us. We get nothing out of it. I completely agree with you there. But the second you're like, well, actually, it's the Jews. First of all, it's against my Christian faith. Like, I just don't believe that and I never will, period. And second, then it becomes a way to discredit. That's when I was like, this guy's a Fed. I was totally convinced you were a Fed.
You know, I'll give fucking Tucker Carlson some credit for being like, Nick Fuentes is just saying it's the Jews. Yeah, he is, and it's a problem.
Fed, because I was like, here he's bear hugging like the one sincere guy who lost his wife in Syria thanks to the fucking crazy wars, neocon wars. And he's discredited. He's doing the David Duke. Like David Duke would always, every time I rolled out a new show, he would issue an endorsement of the show. I've never met the guy. What's that? Well, it's the Feds. Obviously, he's trying to destroy me by association. Whatever. You see the point?
Yeah, but so let me ask you this. So if I'm
Everything's a conspiracy.
supporting Joe Kent, I'm David Duke bear hugging. If I attack Joe Kent, I'm attacking the only sincere America First
Look,
voices.
I get it. I mean,
You know, you could always just not agree about something and publicly discuss it on its merits. You could just do that. You could say, hey, listen, we agree about these other things, but let's talk about the thing that we disagree on and find out why we disagree and have a healthy discourse around it. But no, this fucking right-wing toxic ass debate me bro shit has never been about actually making any kind of progress in any of these fields of discussion. They're all just about fucking dick measuring contests.
I do get it, and I just want to say I love Joe Kent. Again, you know, having been denounced by a lot of people I like, I know what that feels like.
I like that Tucker Carlson likes the guy that we read about who's obviously an obvious piece of shit.
So I definitely am sympathetic to that.
Yeah.
I was denounced by someone I like last night. I hurt my feelings. You know what I mean? Whatever. I'm not even going to say what her name is, but I helped her. I liked her. You know, it's like, why are you denouncing me? Why didn't you call me?
Yeah.
Oh, please tell me it's Candace Owens. But yeah, why didn't you call me and talk to me? Why did you criticize me publicly for that thing I publicly said? Why didn't you come and talk to me personally about it before you criticized me? What planet do you fucking live on, you fucking absolute children? Grow up.
Right?
Yeah.
I get that. I guess the two problems, but then on the other hand,
Ow, my feelings. The facts don't care about your feelings crowd again, everybody. Ow, my feelings. Ow, my ego.
like one of my favorite
Snowflake.
people in the world is Glenn Greenwald.
Yeah, I love Glenn.
Oh, what a good man. Glenn must have spent like 10 years attacking me full time. Tucker Carlson is da-da-da-da-da. And some of his criticism was correct, actually. You know, a tool of the neocons, endorsing these fucking wars. Like, he was right. But he really hated.
I'm sorry, did Tucker Carlson just say he was a warmonger? Did he just out loud say that he was being a warmonger on purpose? I think he might have just said that. Did he just admit to that? But nobody asked. He just said that. Okay. Alright. Okay.
Me.
Sure.
And then when we started to agree on stuff, I was like, you know what? It's not about me. I don't care. Like, I don't want.
Wow, who cares about people's personalities and their behavior? We only care if you agree with us or not and are willing to push our policies. It's almost like you have an agenda or some kind of alternate goal that you're working towards where you don't actually care about the people that are around you or who they are. You only care whether or not they will be willing to push your agenda. Shocking.
Personal pique or my hurt feelings to govern my behavior. I guess that's what I'm saying. I'm not lecturing you. I get it. But I feel like, okay, he pissed you off. It's in a campaign. He's got 19 consultants. This kid's a Nazi. Be careful of him. Like, I don't know. Let it go.
Well, and I totally agree with you, by the way. And that's why I don't take it personally at all. Like, and I like you. I've said
You clearly are taking this personally.
very positive things about you on my show as well. I
Don't care.
And I know, but I mean to say
Yeah, he doesn't care. And with Tucker Carlson being the adult in the room.
that my goal is America first.
Right.
It's not about me. It's not about my personality. It's about winning. for America.
Yeah, but America first is whatever you want, and you've made it your personality, and you identify with it, which means it is you, because you're not taking into consideration other people's cultures and other people who live in America that might not want to, who should have the freedom to live in a way that is not harmful to anybody else and has nothing to do with you. You're making their private life your business because you want everybody to be like you.
And right. By winning, I mean, we want to see our vision realized. But with Joe, for me...
And Dapper's right. He should take it personally. Tucker Carlson is critiquing him on his conduct. And he should be taking that personally.
It was very specific that he said inclusive populism. And I really didn't like that. Because to me, there were a lot of similar phrases at this time. Multiracial, working class, populism, this kind of stuff. And I said, on some level, we do need to be exclusive, not inclusive. We do need to be right-wing. We do need to be Christian. We do.
So you're like, I have a little bit of criticism about this, so I'm going to burn the whole bridge down.
On some level, need to be pro-white, not to the exclusion of everybody else, but recognizing that white people have a special heritage here as Americans.
White people are special little babies. Need to be treated as such.
And so the reason I opposed 2022 was not because I was mad, but it was to say America...
Bro, you already said that it was because you were mad.
First cannot backslide into this kind of inclusive populism message, which I perceive to be more like GOP slop. And I'll tell you, when he ran again in 24, I did not oppose him. And I would have supported him if he had reached out or something like that. Because for me, it was very political and professional. I wanted to impose a cost. If you disavow someone because they criticize Israel, if you disavow someone for talking about white people and Christianity, I said, we can't let that slide because, and you understand why he did it. Like on some level, I don't hold it against him in the sense that there's such a strong...
On some level, I don't hold him against him, but on other levels, I absolutely do.
Incentive. It's easy to say, I disavow all these crazy Christians and all these crazy white nationalists, because it buys you wiggle room with people that are attacking you. It's like easy to throw them under the bus and say, right, I'm one of the good guys. And so I said, it's too easy. We need to push in the other direction and say, you should feel less comfortable saying.
So Nick Fuentes wants to be the cancel culture.
That people shouldn't talk about.
You disagree with him, therefore you are going to feel the full force of Nick Fuentes. That's what he's saying. Like, he just wants to control the right. And wants to drag the right to more extremism.
And say, you should feel less comfortable saying that people shouldn't talk about their race and religion. Maybe you'll think twice next time. And so I did it for a very specific reason. And
I get that. What I do think is bad, just objectively bad.
I think Tucker is being too nice so far.
And destructive is the all Jews are guilty or all anybody is guilty of anything, because that's just like not true. And we don't believe that as Christians. I mean, my hero in life is Paul. I guess you call him Saint Paul. Saul of Tarsus, a Pharisee.
Yeah.
And meets Jesus and becomes this just incredible man, incredibly brave, smart, loving, like everything you want to be as a man. He was Jew.
Yeah.
So like, and God did that to him. So it's like, you can't, I think that's and I don't think it's like mushy liberal bullshit, which I hate. Mm-hmm. And I hate all the language that you're describing. I get why it offends you because it's code for.
Offended by language. Oh no.
Don't really believe what I'm saying.
Right.
I have a PhD in the subject, so I know. But I also think that.
I'm sorry, what? Tucker Carlson has a PhD? I didn't know this. Hold on. I want to know what his PhD actually is in. Oh, wait a second. PhD. Oh yeah, I forgot. He was a political Democrat until 2020. He was a Democrat until 2020 and then a Republican from 2020 to present. At least according to Wikipedia. let's see his early career. Blah 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 blah. CNN. Oh, right, he was on CNN. I forget, it was Crossfire, PBS, MSNBC. I want to fucking Trinity College, Connecticut, BA. He doesn't say he has a PhD. Did he just fucking lie to me? I think he might have just fucking lied to me. Early life and education. At least according to his fucking Wikipedia. Tucker McNear Carlson. Blah, blah, San Francisco, California, blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Parental, blah, blah, blah. Teenagers, blah, blah, blah. Massachusetts. Parents divorced. Ooh. I guess that's what's wrong with him. Briefly enrolled, French-speaking Switzerland, but he was kicked out. He attained a secondary education at St. George School, a boarding school in Middletown, Rhode Island, where he started dating his future wife and the headmaster's daughter. Yeah, of course. He spent 4 years attending Trinity College in Hartford, Connecticut, graduated in 1991 with a BA in history. His Tucker Carlson yearbook describes him as a member of the Dan White Society, an apparent reference to the American political assassin who murdered San Francisco Mayor George Moscone and Supervisor Harvey Milk. After college, Carlson tried to join the Central Intelligence Agency, but his application was denied, after which he decided to pursue a career in journalism with the encouragement from his father, who advised him that they'll take anybody. So he just said he had a fucking PhD, but there's no reference to a PhD anywhere. Let's see if he's got something like honorary. Oh, whoops, sorry, hold on. Whoop. Nothing referencing a PhD in the find feature. Doctoral? No. Doxed doctors. No, nothing. There's nothing, at least in his Wikipedia, that says anything about him having a PhD. So let's try the word honorary. Dishonorable. Okay. It's 2 references. No, I'm not seeing anything. No, I'm not seeing anything. It seems like he just made that the fuck up right then. I have a PhD in the subject. I am not able to confirm that he has a PhD in anything.
There's like a true, not just principle, but like spiritual reality that we have to defend, which is God created every person as an individual, not as a group. No woman gave birth to a community.
Do you have to, though?
Like, we hate that kind of thinking,
Yes.
right? Collectivist thinking like that. That's identity politics. That's what Dave Rubin engages in. That's why Dave is like just a child. Like, you don't pay any attention to Dave because he's like shallow. But we're not going to be that, right? Or no?
No, I completely agree with you. And
Nick Fuentes is absolutely childish and shallow and malicious. He's just a mean little boy.
you know, like, and not to be that guy and say that thing, but like, my best friend is a Jewish person.
No,
you know,
I
so
know,
like
That's the second time he's said that. It's like, first it was his secretary. Now he's like, my best friend is Jewish.
here's my substantive
Stop.
disagreement, because as a Catholic, I could not agree more with you
Yes.
in what you're saying. I love all people, even the ones that don't like us. We have to love them all, and we have to recognize that
We're required to.
yes, and especially Aquinas says the Jews are a witness people, and so they actually have special protections under the law, according to Catholic philosophy. But I guess my substantive disagreement, which I've said on the show also, is the idea that neoconservatism and Israel has nothing to do with Jewishness.
Then why do you keep blaming the Jews for everything when what you actually allegedly want to criticize is the Israeli government?
Jewish identity, the Jewish religion, because clearly the state of Israel and the neocons are deeply motivated by that ethnic identity, and their allegiance to Israel proceeds from that. You know, the plan of Greater Israel. the blood and soil nationalism of Israel, it stems from this ethno-religion, which is Judaism.
So therefore we want to do it ourselves? That's what this comes down to, right? I don't like Israel's nationalism, so I want to have American nationalism with Christian values instead. Have we decided that theocracies are bad yet? Do you think they're going to evolve to that point socially, that they're going to get there? I asked ChatGPT and it said Tucker Carlson claims to have a PhD, but there's no verifiable record of it, such as from a university or reliable biographical source. That claims would be false. Well,
Yes.
even
Well, this
ChatGPT, check Grok.
Just BLM, the new version. This is identity politics. They're engaging in
What?
identity politics. I mean, that's just so obvious to me.
But that's you doing that.
But the problem in your response, I get what you're saying, but the problem in your response is it does not apply to every individual.
No, and I would never say that.
Okay. Well, I just think it's important to say that, not to kind of like dodge the accusations against you. My best friends are Jewish. Like, okay, I agree. Embarrassing, even though it's probably true. And it's true in my case, actually. But whatever. But because just that principle that we're all judged as individuals by what we do, that our faith, the decisions that we make, the way we live our lives, and God will judge every one of us in that way. And that's how we're supposed to judge. Like, I think that's true.
Yeah, and I totally agree.
And I totally agree, even though I just spent the last hour blaming the Jews for everything. Okay, all right, we're gonna stop there. We'll come back to another episode of this later and finish the second half of this on another day. I don't know when. We got to do some political talk tomorrow about Trump and Canada, so that'll be fun. So I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks so much for joining me. This was a good time, I guess. Painful. I told you it was gonna be painful. You didn't believe me. I told you the truth. Don't say I didn't fucking warn you. I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good day. Bye. What a fucking idiot.
I disagree infinitely about the way that was dumb, and I hate it. And I hate it.